one of those things. So I'm grateful that we have this chance to focus on agriculture, knowing as well that while agriculture touches all kinds of other jurisdictions, you can talk about agriculture and transportation, you can talk about agriculture and higher education, you can talk about agriculture and the environment. This is not the Transportation Committee. This is not the Environment Committee. This is not the Higher Ed Committee. This is the Agriculture Committee. That must be our focus first and last. We've talked in the Senate this entire session about hearing the voice of the farmer. Now's our chance to speak with and for them as well. So I'm looking forward to this work. Chair Vang, do you have anything you'd like to say? Starts off.
Thank you, Chair Putnam. Hello. Okay, thank you, Chair Putnam. Thank you for the introduction, and I want to welcome everyone to our first conference committee. As we go through the side-by-sides of each the House and Senate provisions, I just want you all to note that you all have participated and have contributed to the making of this budget. And so I want to thank you for all your participation, your contributions. I want to thank the members of this committee for all their work, and staff, and nonpartisan staff as well. And I look forward to hearing from further testimony and to doing great work. Thank you, Chair Putnam.
Thank you, Chair Vang. Now let's go around the horn. Everybody say hi. How about we start over there with Senator Kupek?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Senator Rob Kupek. I'm from Senate District 4. That includes Clay County, most of Clay County, and the western portion of Becker County. This is my first year in the Senate, and very happy to be Vice Chair of the Agriculture Committee.
Hi, everyone. I am Jacqueline Borromeo. I am the Committee Legislative Assistant for the Senate. This is my first conference committee, so I'm excited to see how that goes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Olafson, Senate Fiscal Analyst for the Agriculture Committee.
And I'm Laura Painter. I'm a Legislative Analyst for the Senate.
I'm Hunter Peterson. I'm the Committee Administrator for the Senate Agriculture Committee.
I'm Amanda Rudolph. I am the Committee Administrator for Chair Vang.
Good morning. My name is Christy Purcell. I am a first-term representative representing the Northfield area. I'm Vice Chair of the House Ag Committee.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Representative Paul Anderson, District 12A, stretching from Stearns County out to the South Dakota border. And I'm glad to be here and to do this important work, so thank you.
Mark Nicely, House Republican Caucus Research.
Ken Savory, House Fiscal Staff.
Good morning, everyone. Colby Sullivan, Legislative Analyst with the Nonpartisan House Research Department.
Hi, Molly Peterson with House DFL Research.
Senator Westrom, I believe, will be here any moment. He's another member of the Senate delegation. We also have some page friends helping us out. So our page friends, would you guys step up and say hi real quick?
Hi, I'm Margot Meyer. I am the Senate new page.
And Amanda?
I'm Amanda Peterson, Senate DFL Research.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much everybody we got around the table for now. Anybody else? Mr. Collins? Everybody say aye, would you please?
I'm Zach Collins, the page. I'm Matthew Salzer, I'm the House Legislative Assistant.
All right, folks, so that's who we are. Now let's do what we're supposed to do. We are going to begin with a walkthrough. Ms. Painter and Mr. Sullivan, if you would, please.
Mr. Chair and members, we're going to start with Article 1, the Article 1 side-by-side, looking at the rider differences. On page R2, the Senate has, line 2.27, the Senate has $50,000 max grant award for soil health grants. On page R4, the Senate requires the Dean of CFANS to report back on the Forever Green initiative. On page R5, line 6.1, on the Senate side, requires the Commissioner to report back on grants for continuous living cover crops. On page R8, line 9.12, the Senate language reads, quote, projects, programs, and research associated with the preservation and production of wild rice in collaboration with tribal governments. This is a line item in the Ag Research, Education, Extension, and Technology Grant Program. The House language on their line 8.1 reads cultivated wild rice breeding project at the North Central Research and Outreach Center. On page R8, the Senate has language allowing funds to be used for researching avian influenza prevention measures. And on page R9, the line 10.2 on the Senate side, the Senate is requiring a report on expenditures from the Ag Research, Education, Extension, and Technology Grant Program. Mr. Sullivan?
Mr. Chair and members, picking up, going through the high-level differences in the agriculture budget dash Article 1 side by side. Just to note that on page R8, the House also, out of the agreed Agriculture Research, Education, Extension, and Technology Transfer Program, does have up to $1 million per year for avian influenza, salmonella, and turkey-related diseases. So both bodies have language and the same amount of money for that purpose, but the language is a bit different, as you can see on the bottom of R8. Then moving on to page R9, about halfway down begins the riders for the Agricultural Growth, Research, and Innovation, or commonly known as the AGRI program. You see on the bottom of R9, the reviser's side-by-side software has highlighted a lot of language that's only on the House side, the right-hand side. It begins on 9.4, except as provided below, and continues through the end of the page. And you notice that language isn't on the Senate side. The language that the House has was in the governor's bill, and it's very similar to language that's been in the Agri Rider in one form or another since the program was created by the legislature in 2009. And essentially what it does is both bodies say, except as provided below, the money may be spent for certain purposes. But the House sort of lays out a menu of options that the department can choose to spend the undesignated portion of the total agri appropriation, whereas the Senate removed the menu of items that you see on the House side on 9.4 through 9.20, and continuing on to the top of page R10, 9.21 to 9.28. Then below that, you'll see both the House and the Senate have designated certain amounts of the total agri appropriation that must be spent for specified purposes. The fiscal analysts may go through that a bit more when they walk through the spreadsheet, but just to note a difference in the language too, on R10, about halfway down on the House side, the highlighted language specifies that of the amount that the House designates for bio-incentive payments from the agri appropriation, $1 million each year is to pay deficiency payments or claims that were not previously fully paid due to inadequate funding, funding that wasn't sufficient to fully pay all producers at the statutory levels. So that would leave on the House side $5.75 million each year for new claims for current production. And the Senate does not have comparable language for back pay. Then jump ahead to the next significant difference. Really, I think then it's back to Ms. Painter to pick up on page R12 with the differences for the farm to school agri rider.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Yeah, the House and Senate both have language for the farm to school program. The Senate expands the program to include early childhood education centers. It also specifically includes poultry in addition to meat, grain, and other food products, and allows for equipment purchases. On page R13, both bills have grants for hemp processing. The House version is specific to hemp fiber processing equipment. And then Mr. Sullivan's going to take us through the Second Harvest Heartland grants.
And Mr. Chair and members, the Second Harvest rider language is on page R16. It starts about halfway down. You'll see that both the House and the Senate would appropriate the same amount, $1.95 million each year for this purpose. And both bodies would actually designate that of that amount, at least $850,000 each year must go for purchases of milk. The difference is on page R17 in that for the surplus fruits, vegetables, and other ag commodities and protein products, the House says that the purchases must come from producers, processors, and food hubs. The Senate has producers and processors, but the food hubs piece is unique to the House language for the farm to school appropriation. And then you'll notice at the bottom of R17, the highlighted language on the House side, In addition to the $850,000 for milk, the House specifies that at least $100,000 each year must be used to purchase eligible items from food hubs, and specifically food hubs that aggregate food produced by emerging farmers. Then if we move on to the next page, speaking of emerging farmers, on the bottom of R18 are the House and Senate appropriations specifically for emerging farmers. The amounts are similar, but you'll notice some differences between the Senate and the House language, the riders that specify how this money is to be spent by the Department of Agriculture. I won't go through the differences in detail, but just note for members' future reference that the language can be found on the bottom of R18. And then also just to note on the top of R19 is a related item, $250,000 each year to award and administer grants under the new Beginning Farmer Equipment and Infrastructure Grant Program that would be coordinated by the Emerging Farmer Office and the Department of Agriculture. That was the governor's recommendation that's picked up in the House language. And then finally, on 18.11 to 18.18, R19 on the House side, last year the legislature put $50,000 in the base for fiscal year 2024 for an aquaculture plan. So the House has rider language that would require that money to be spent for purposes of creating that aquaculture plan. Then, Mr. Chair, if I might, I'll pass it back to Ms. Painter to talk about the Ag BMP rider.
Mr. Chair and members, both bills have the Best Management Practices Loan Program. The Senate language has a bit more detail about recipients of those loans on page R20. On page R21, you'll see both bills fund the veterinary diagnostic laboratory equipment purchases. The House requires a report on expenditures. Pages R21 and R22, both bills have the down payment assistance grants. The House allocates the full amount to emerging farmers, and the Senate on line 22.11 specifies at least $375,000 for emerging farmers, and also requires the commissioner to submit a report about the program. Page R22, there are meat processing training and retention grants in both bills. On line 22.30, the Senate language would award grants of up to $5,000 per employee to processors with 100 or fewer employees. While the House, this is on lines 34 and 35, on pages R34 and R35, the House language would award up to $10,000 per employee for processors with 150 or fewer employees. And I believe Mr. Sullivan's going to talk about the Board of Animal Health.
And Mr. Chair and members, the Board of Animal Health appropriation begins on the bottom of page R23. Fiscal analyst colleagues will talk about the differences in spending between the two bodies, but just to note that on page R24, the House language, both the House and the Senate would appropriate $560,000 each year for agricultural emergency preparedness and response work by the Board of Animal Health. The House also requires the annual reports that the Board of Animal Health is already required to submit by law, that they include additional information about how this money is spent and the outcomes achieved. That was an amendment added in the House Agriculture, Finance and Policy Committee. And then, Mr. Chair and members, we can jump forward all the way to page R34. Ms. Painter did a good job of pointing out the differences in the House and Senate in terms of how the money for meat processor employee training and retention incentives, how that money would be spent, how it differs between the bodies. Just a note, too, that the House would require the department to work through partner organizations as specified on lines 33.25 to 33.29. And the partner organizations could use up to 20% of the grant for direct services to these employees, including but not limited to translation services. Mr. Chair and members, that's the end of our walkthrough of the significant differences in the appropriation riders. If you have questions, we could certainly take those now, or we could move on to walking through the differences in Article 2 if you prefer.
Members, any brief questions before we move to the spreadsheet? Thank you, Ms. Painter, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Savory, and Mr. Olafson, if you would please, the spreadsheet.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, in your packets, you should have two different spreadsheets. One in the top left corner labeled Agriculture Finance Change Items, and the other one labeled just Agriculture Finance Conference Committee Side-by-Side SF 1955. And that's the detailed spreadsheet that Mr. Savory and I will walk through. And the timestamp in the upper right-hand corner is 4/27/2023, 5:18 p.m. So just to orient you to the spreadsheet, column A includes the riders, the departments, and the divisions within the spreadsheet. Column B includes what fund the different riders, the different appropriations come from, and column C talks about whether they're direct or open appropriations. And then columns L through O show the Senate position, and columns P through S show the House position. So during this walkthrough of the spreadsheet, I will be walking through the Senate position, the change items on the spreadsheet, while Mr. Savory will be walking through the House position. So just to begin the walkthrough, I'll start on line 38 of the spreadsheet. This is within the Department of Agriculture, the Protection Services Department. So on the Senate position for maintaining current service levels, it's 1.9 million from the general fund in the first biennium and approximately 2.8 million in the 26-27 biennium. On line 39 for the meat processing liaison, it's 150,000 in the first biennium and 150,000 in the tails. On line 42 for soil health equipment grants, it's $2 million of additional one-time funding in the 24-25 biennium from the general fund. On line 43 for noxious weed grants, it's additional $300,000 of one-time funding in the 24-25 biennium. On line 45 for the Forever Green Department, it's additional $690,000 in the 24-25 biennium and an additional $690,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For the living cover crop grants, it's additional $1.5 million in the 24-25 biennium, and then $500,000 of additional spending in the 26-27 biennium. And then for elk crop damage, for line 51 for wolf livestock for the wolf livestock conflict prevention program, it's $450,000 from the general fund in the 24-25 biennium. On line 52 for the deer abatement and crop damage report, it's an additional $50,000 one time in fiscal year 24. On line 53 for the for additional funding for the wolf depredation payments, and it's an additional $80,000 in the 24-25 biennium. And then on line 54 for elk depredation payments, it's additional $70,000 from the general fund in the 24-25 biennium. So for the total change items from the general fund, it's approximately 7.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and approximately 4.1 million in the 26-27 biennium. And just on line, I also want to point out on line 75, this is on page 2 of the spreadsheet, for the non-general fund, there's a match for the meat processing liaison from federal funds of additional 150,000 each biennium of federal fund matching dollars. And with that, I'll hand it over to Mr. Savory to talk about the House position.
Chair and members, I'll follow the similar pattern of Mr. Olafson here and go to columns P, Q, R, and S. The first one being on line 39, the meat processing liaison of 150,000 in the current upcoming biennium and then 150,000 in the tails. Line 40 is the food licensing modernization proposal. This is a governor's recommendation which the House carried. It's broken into two pieces, the first piece being a reduction to the Protection Services Division of MDA, and then members will see a corresponding dedication of that revenue down further on the spreadsheet. So that reduction is 3.827 million in 24-25, and then identical amounts in each year of the tails. Line 41 is the Green Indemnity Fund. The House funds this particular item within Protection Services as a $5 million one-time transfer to that new Green Indemnity Fund. Line 42 is the Soil Health Equipment Grants of $250,000 each fiscal year in 24-25, as well as the tails. Line 43 is the noxious weed grants at a $400,000 appropriation each fiscal year and in the tails. Line 44 is a transfer to the pollinator research account. This is similar to the governor's proposal, but the House proposal is somewhat larger and only occurs in fiscal year 24, so $2.5 million transferred to that account. Line 45 is another kind of two-part change item. The House position would move the Forever Green program, which currently has a base in Protection Services, would move that from Protection Services to the AGREET program, and we'll see that kind of down in the spreadsheet. But for now, it shows the reduction there, and it will pop up again back up in AGREET. Line 46 are living cover crop grants, $500,000 in 24 and in 25 for $1 million appropriation, but this is a one-time appropriation, so the tails appropriation is zero. Line 47 is a one-time appropriation of $65,000 for a feral pig and mink report. And then line 48 is a PFAS pesticide registration and oversight. This is general fund appropriations for the oversight portion and covers $1.688 million in fiscal 24-25, and then a slightly smaller amount of $1.124 million in 26-27. Line 49 is a $100,000 one-time appropriation for a systemic pesticide and treated seed regulation. And then additionally, the House has some bracketed items, line 50, which is increased to the carve-out for elk crop damage producer grants already within law. So that would increase that by $20,000 each year in this biennium and then into the tails. For a total of, on line 56, total change of $6,716,000, 24-25, and then a reduction because of a reduction to Protection Services of $6,340,000 in the tails. Additionally, as Mr. Olofsson pointed out, there are some non-general fund change items located on the second page. We can flip to those now. Line 75 is the identical item that the Senate is carrying for the meat processing liaison match, the federal funds. Line 76 are additional ag fund appropriations now that the revenue is dedicated. This is additional ag fund spending that would happen now that the general fund charges are now back to the going into the ag fund. So those would be $4.4 million in 24-25, and then $8,850,000 in the tails. Line 77 just shows the new spending for the pollinator research account. That $2.5 million is identical to the general fund appropriation, just shows it in a new place now that it's being transferred. And then line 78 is a governor's change item for changes to the food retail plan review fee modernization. That would be additional revenue to the ag fund of $178,000 in 24-25 and in 26-27. And then line 79 is additional grain indemnity fund spending that the House is carrying of $1.5 million in 24-25, and then additionally one time in fiscal 26. And then finally, line 80 is a fertilizer tonnage fee increase. This is additional ag fund spending that would result in, due to the increase in the fee, that additional $750,000 begins in FY25 and then carries in each year of 26 and 27. Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back to Mr. Olofsson to cover the next division of MDA.
Thank you, Mr. Savory. Moving on to promotion and marketing within MDA, we'll start on line 103 for maintaining current service levels. The Senate appropriates $900,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $1.1 million in the 26-27 biennium. Moving on to line 105 for grants to farmer market hubs, the Senate appropriates $200,000 one time in the 24-25 biennium. For international trade support, this is on line 106. The Senate appropriates $300,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $300,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And then for farm safety, health and wellness, the Senate appropriates $200,000 of additional one-time spending in the 24-25 biennium. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mr. Savory.
Mr. Chair and members, the House has two change items for promotion and marketing. The first one being on line 106, which is the international trade support. That is $300,000 in FY 24-25, and half that amount, $150,000 in 26 and 27. So the tails do decrease. Line 108 is the cooperative grants that the House is carrying. It's a $400,000 appropriation in FY 24-25, and the same amount in FY 26-27. I'll turn it back to Mr. Olofsson.
Thank you. We will now move on to page 3 of the spreadsheet packet, moving on to the value-added products department. And I'll start here on line 169 for the Agri Sunset extension. The Senate actually repeals the Agri Sunset and doesn't extend it. So for additional $35.16 million above the base in the 26-27 biennium. On line 170 for livestock processing within the Agri program, the Senate appropriates $2.5 million in the 24-25 biennium and nothing in the tails. For biofuels infrastructure, this is on line 171. The Senate appropriates additional funding of one time of $3 million in the 24-25 biennium. Moving on down to line 177, this is for the farm to school program within Agri. It's additional $700,000 of one-time spending from the general fund. And on line 178 for the Dairy with an I program, the House actually has this in the Administration and Financial Services Department, but our division within MDA, but the Senate appropriates $5.5 million in the 24-25 biennium for the Dairy with an I program. And then on line 179 for Agri, for hemp processing, the Senate appropriates $500,000 one time in the 24-25 biennium. Moving on to page 4 of the spreadsheet, the Senate then moves on to carving out or increasing carve-outs or designated spending, as Ms. Painter mentioned earlier. On line 181, the Senate increases the carve-out for the bio incentives by $500,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $500,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For the carve-out for biofuels infrastructure on line 182, it increases the carve-out to $750,000 in the 26-27 biennium. On line 183, there's actually a small error in column L and column M. It should be a carve-out in, yes, for livestock investment grant program increase, it should be a carve-out increase of $3 million in the 24-25 biennium and $3 million in the 26-27 biennium. For value-added grants increased carve-out, it's increased designated spending of $2.3 million in the 24-25 biennium and $2.3 million in the 26-27 biennium. For the new markets program, this is making that designated spending as well. It's $680,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $680,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For the Beginning Farmer FBM scholarships designated spending, it's $900,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $900,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For making all of Farm to School program designated spending, this is on line 187. It's $1.6 million in the 24-25 biennium and $1.6 million in the 26-27 biennium. And now moving on to AgREIT within value-added products. Looking at Farm Business Management, or MAELC, this is on line 188. It's an additional additional $1 million in the 24-25 biennium and an additional $1 million in the 26-27 biennium. And then on line 192, for the specific program funding for cultivated wild rice breeding, it's now for tribal government wild rice research, and you can see this transfer or redirection of the appropriation on lines 192 and 193 of the $900 million for tribal government wild rice research on line 193, and the redirection of funding of $900,000 in 26-27 as well. So for a total general fund change item for value-added products on line 195, it's additional funding of $13.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and approximately $36.2 million in the 26-27 biennium. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mr. Savory.
Chair and members will start back where Mr. Olofsson started on line 168 for the House change items. Line 168 is a general increase to the program appropriation for Agri. That is $2.1 million in FY 24-25 and $6,958,000 in FY 26-27. Lines 169 is the Agri Sunset Extension. That is $10 million occurring in 26 and 27 for $20 million. The idea there was to maintain the riders in current law, which total $10 million, so that's what the $10 million is linked to. Line 170 is agri-livestock processing, an increase to that item of $1 million each year in 24 and 25. That's a one-time appropriation increase. Line 172 is the biofuels infrastructure, the entrepreneur support on line 172. That's $100,000 each year in 24-25, and in the tails as well, so a $200,000 change there. Line 174, this is in reference to Mr. Sullivan's remarks on the bio-incentive backfill claims. That's $1 million increase in FY 24 and 25, so a total of $2 million of change, but this is one time. Line 175 is urban and youth agriculture. This is $1 million increase above the agri base of $1 million each year in 24-25, and then also in the tail, so a $2 million change. The House also removes the up to language for urban and youth ag, good food access, and farm to school, making them designated spending. Line 176 is the good food access program of $500,000 each fiscal year. Line 177 is the Agri Farm to School program at $1 million in each fiscal year in 24-25 and in the tails. And then finally on this page, the House inserts a rider for the hemp fiber processing grants. That's $1 million each fiscal year, but that is only contained within 24 and 25, so it is one time. And then flipping the page, the House has several AGREET-related change items. Line 188 is for Mail-C for Farm Business Management. There's an increase of $500,000 FY 24-25 and the same amount in 26-27. Line 189, this is the reinsertion of the Forever Green program with the House proposal moving it to AGREET. The House additionally also reestablishes the $630,000 and then increases it by $60,000 in 24 and 25, so $690,000 for that in 24-25 biennium. And then that $60,000 increase goes away and it goes down to $630,000 in 26 and 27. Additionally, the House is carrying another Forever Green related line item, which is on line 190, which is Forever Green equipment. That is $1 million appropriation only occurring in fiscal year 24. Additionally, line 191, the House has for AGREET $500,000 in each fiscal year in 24 and 25, a one-time appropriation for the Deep Winter Greenhouse Program. So in total, on line 195 for this division of MDA is $15 million $200,000 in 24-25, and then $33,918,000 in FY 26-27. And then I'll turn it back to Mr. Olafson to cover admin and financial assistance.
Thank you, Mr. Savory. So yes, moving on to admin and financial assistance within MDA. We'll move to page 5 of the spreadsheet, and we'll start on page 200 and, we'll start on page 5, but start on line 256 for maintaining current service levels just within admin and financial services. The Senate and the House take a different approach, and I think Mr. Savory will walk through that. But the Senate appropriates $1 million in the 24-25 biennium and $1.2 million in the 26-27 biennium for maintaining current service levels. On line 257 for the RFA capacity increase, the Senate appropriates $300,000 of additional funding in 24-25 biennium and additional $300,000 in the 26-27 biennium. On line 258 for the information technology modernization, it's an additional $2 million in the 24-25 biennium. On line 259 for the emerging farmer office expansion, it's an additional $800,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $400,000 in the 26-27 biennium. Moving on down to line 260, on line 261 for the ag emergency account transfer, the transfer to the ag emergency account, it's 1.4 million one-time transfer in fiscal year 2024. On line 262 for the second harvest heartland milk allocation, it's an additional one-time additional funding to second harvest of $500,000 in the 24-25 biennium. Moving on down to line 266 for the Good Acre Leaf Program, it's an additional $600,000 of one-time spending in the 24-25 biennium. On line 268 for the Northern Crop Institute, it's $120,000 in the 24-25 biennium and also $120,000 in the 26-27 biennium. On line 269 for the Greater Mankato Growth or Green Seam Program, it's $400,000 of one-time funding in the 24-25 biennium. On line 270 for the Minnesota Turf Seed Council, it's an additional it's $150,000 in the 24-25 biennium and also $150,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For the Minnesota Poultry Association on line 271, it's $2,000 in fiscal year 2024 of one-time spending. For the Minnesota Livestock Breeders Association on line 272, it's one-time spending of $36,000 for the 24-25 biennium. On line 273 for the Minnesota Horticulture Society, it's one-time spending of $68,000 in 24-25 biennium. Moving on down, on line 276 for specifically meat processing training grants, it's one-time spending of $100,000 in fiscal year 24. And then on line 277 for meat processing, hiring and retention incentives, it's $222,000 in fiscal year 24 and $322,000 in fiscal year 25 for a total of $544,000 for the biennium. And then for Mail C on line 280, it's $250,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $250,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And then on line 282, this is where the grain indemnity transfer occurs within the Senate position. It's $14 million of one-time transfer from the general fund to the in the 24-25 biennium. And then on line 283 for farm down payment assistance grants, it's an additional $1 million in the 24-25 biennium. That's one time. And then for cooperative grants, this is on line 284, it's $500,000 of additional funding in the 24-25 biennium. So for the total general fund change items for admin and financial services within on the Senate position, in the 24-25 biennium, it's $23,770,000 in the 24-25 biennium, and additional $2,420,000 in the 26-27 biennium. There are also some additional spendings from non-general fund items, and I'll just briefly point those out on page 6 of the spreadsheet. This is on line 300. This is just spending from the agriculture fund for the grain indemnity purposes. So it assumes $1.525 million in the 24-25 biennium. This is on line 300, and $1.5 million in the 26-27 biennium. And let's see, and just a couple other things on line 308. The Senate repeals the line 309, my apologies. The Senate repeals the statutory appropriation for the oriented strand board, so that it was a statutory / open appropriation of $1.5 million in the 24-25 biennium, and $3 million per fiscal year, so $6 million of savings to the Senate position in the 26-27 biennium. And then just so totaling everything up on line 310 for the total general fund change within MDA, it's $44,260,000 for the 24-25 biennium, and $38,100,000 of net general fund change in the 26-27 biennium. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mr. Savory to walk through the House position.
Chair and members, the House position returns back to line 256 for maintain current service levels. The House appropriates $5 million in FY 24-25 and $6,022,000 in 26-27 for that item. Line 257 is the RFA capacity increase. The House carries the $150,000 each fiscal year, and additionally that reoccurs in the tails. Line 258 is the information technology modernization item. The House is carrying the $1 million each fiscal year in 24 and 25, but this is a one-time appropriation. Line 259 is the appropriations to the emerging farmer expansion. The House is carrying $250,000 in 24 and 25, and the identical amount in 26 and 27. Line 260 is the beginning farmer equipment and infrastructure grants. The House is carrying $250,000 in 24-25, and identical appropriations in 26 and 27. Line 261 is a transfer to the Ag Emergency Account. It's $1 million, one time, only occurring in fiscal 24. Line 262 are appropriations for the Second Harvest Heartland, for the Second Harvest Heartland, and that is $500,000 in 24-25, and then the identical amount in 26-27. Line 264, the House is carrying a governor's change item for the Climate Implementation Coordinator. That is $300,000 in 24-25, and then identically in 26-27. Line 266 is an appropriation to the Good Acre Leaf Program of $100,000 in 24, the same amount in 25, but that is a one-time appropriation and does not occur in the tails. Skipping down several lines to line 275 is an appropriation for heritage oilseed research at the U of M. That is $1 million in 24, and then $1 million in FY 25, and then that does not occur in the tails. Line 276 are meat processing training grants of $500,000 each fiscal year. That is a one-time appropriation. Line 278, Mr. Olafson pointed out that the Senate is carrying the dairy program within the agri appropriation, and the House, while it does have the same appropriation, although smaller, although different, it's being carried in the admin area, so that is $3 million one time in FY 24. Line 280 is the Minnesota Ag Education Leadership Council, better known as MALC. That is an appropriation increase of $100,000 each fiscal year. That also occurs in FY 26-27, the out biennium. And then line 281 are community development, financial assistance, technical assistance grants. And that is an appropriation occurring of $150,000 each fiscal year, and that also occurs in the out biennium in 26-27. General fund total for change items on line 286 is $16,800,000 in 24-25, and then $8,622,000 in the out biennium 26-27. Similarly, I'll switch to some non-general fund change items occurring on page 6 of the spreadsheet. The House is carrying the, on line 299, the information technology modernization fee, fee change or fee increase that the governor is carrying that would be increased revenue to the ag fund of $615,000 a year, and that occurs in 24-25 as well as the out biennium 26-27. So for total non-general fund change items on line 301, it is just the total amount of $1,230,000 and the same amount in FY 26-27. Additionally, there's the item, on line 309, the repeal of the statutory appropriation for the Oriented Strand Board. The House carries the similar position or identical position of the Senate, which is repealing that statutory appropriation and using that savings to fund various items within the target. Line 310, the House appropriates $37,916,000 above base for MDA, and in the out biennium would be $30,750,000. And then I'll turn it back to Mr. Olafson to cover the rest of the small agencies.
Thank you, Mr. Savory. Moving on to the Board of Animal Health. This is still on page 6, line 323, for maintaining current service levels at the Board of Animal Health. The Senate appropriates $480,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $640,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For the ag, on line 324, for ag emergency preparedness and response, the Senate appropriates $720,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $720,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And then for the companion animal import quarantine item, it's $340,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $340,000 in the 26-27 biennium. So for a total general fund change item for the Board of Animal Health of approximately $1,540,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $1,700,000 on the 26-27 biennium. I will also just move on to AURI or ARI, looking at their change items. So for on line 350, towards the bottom of the spreadsheet for their COLA adjustment or to maintain current service levels, it's $200,000 in the 24-25 biennium and $200,000 in the 26-27 biennium. For capital equipment, there's an additional one-time spending of $1.5 million in the 24-25 biennium. And for on line 352 for renewable natural gas digestion projects, it's additional one-time spending of $500,000 in the 24-25 biennium in fiscal year 24. So for a total general fund change item for AURI, this is on line 354 of $2.2 million in the 24-25 biennium and $200,000 in the 26-27 biennium. And I'll also just briefly move on to page 7, just to briefly touch on DEED Office of Broadband. Looking at line 369 for border-to-border broadband grants, the Senate appropriates $60 million in the 24-25 biennium of additional spending in 24-25, and then for the low-density program, it's additional $40 million of a separate appropriation in the for 24-25 biennium for a total additional spend of $100 million in the 24-25 biennium for DEED's Office of Broadband. Before orienting the spreadsheet, I failed to mention what the targets our committee was given at the beginning of from leadership. We were given a target of 148. This bill was given a target of $148 million of additional general fund spending with a specified amount of $100 million for DEED's Office of Broadband for the 24-25 biennium and $40 million in the tails of our target. And on line 382 for the total net general fund, you can see that the Senate position has met these general fund targets of $148 million in 24-25 and $40 million in 26-27. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mr. Savory to walk through the smaller agencies as well.
Chair and members, returning to the Board of Animal Health on line 323. The House is carrying $498,000 for maintaining current service levels in 24-25, and then an additional $664,000 in 26-27. Line 374 is the Ag Emergency Preparedness and Response appropriation. The House is carrying $720,000 in FY 24-25, and the identical amount in FY 26-27. Skipping down 2 lines to line 326, the House is carrying some policy language that modifies the Board of Animal Health, its membership, and the House is providing $6,000 each fiscal year in 24-25, and then identical amounts in the tails to carry those changes. So in sum total on line 328, for the Board of Animal Health for a general fund change of $1,230,000 in 24-25, and then $1,396,000 in FY 26-27. Moving down to AURI, the House is carrying 2 change items, line 350 being the COLA adjustment of $100,000 each fiscal year in 24-25, and then identical amounts in 26-27. And then line 351, capital equipment of $1 million in FY 24. In total, the change for AURI is $1,200,000 above base in 24-25, and then $200,000 above base in 26-27. Moving on to the broadband appropriations. On line 369, the House is carrying additional appropriations of $100 million for border-to-border broadband, and specifying on line 370 that of that amount, $40 million is reserved for the low-density program. Additionally, to Mr. Olafson's point, you'll see total line items on lines 382, which is the total general fund. The House has met the $148 million target in FY 24-25, and similarly $40 million in 26-27. I wanted to point out to members on 381, which is the general fund revenue adjustments. This is the negative general fund revenue impact that the House is carrying for the dedication of fees for food inspections. And then, Mr. Chair, I believe that wraps up the spreadsheet unless Mr. Olafson has more.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olafson and Mr. Savory. Now, folks, we pivot back to council with Ms. Painter and Mr. Sullivan, who are going to talk us through Articles 2, 3, and 4 and the policy provisions in House File 1587.
Mr. Chair and members, I'll start working from a different side-by-side document now. This one at the top is Agriculture Budget - Article 2, and it begins with House-only language on page R1. So the House, to move pretty quickly through these House-only sections, Section 1 was a Department of Agriculture recommendation. This is authorization for the department to assess a surcharge on all licensing and permitting transactions of a minimum of $5, initially 5% of the transaction, but it could go as high as 8% and as low as 3%, with the money appropriated to the department for IT improvements, to conduct electronic licensing and permitting transactions, and to otherwise modernize the department's inspection and customer management systems. Sections 2 and 3 have to do with the Emerging Farmer Working Group. Section 2 includes House-only language to expand the membership in statute of the Emerging Farmer Working Group and effectively the definition of emerging farmer for purposes of state programs to include lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, or asexual farmers and emerging farmers. Section 3 is a department recommendation to effectively codify the Emerging Farmer Office in statute. Currently, it just really exists as a rider in the appropriations section. So that's what happens in Section 3. Moving on to the top of page R4, 2 more House-only sections that have to do with beginning farmers and the Emerging Farmer Office. Section 4 establishes the Beginning Farmer Equipment and Infrastructure Grant Program. that would be coordinated by the Emerging Farmer Office and that would give preference to applicants who are emerging farmers. And then Section 5 is just sort of a reorganization of the existing report that the department submits to the legislature every year regarding Emerging Farmer Office activities. It's January 15th currently. This would move it back 2 weeks to February 1st each year. Bottom of R2, we have two sections that are the same between the House and the Senate. Senate Section 1 and House Section 6 expands eligibility for the cooperative grant program to include 308B co-ops that have non-patron members, so long as those non-patron members do not have voting rights. On R3, we have a House-only section. This is Section 7. This was a Department of Agriculture governor recommendation to basically modify and expand the items that the department would consider in-kind contributions on behalf of those who apply for and receive sustainable agricultural demonstration grants. And with that, I believe I'll pass it to Ms. Painter for the Senate-only language on R4.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. On page R4, Section 2, the Senate amends the down payment assistant grants to require a match of at least $5,000 and also requires the Department of Agriculture to accept applications for at least 30 days. And I'll pass it back to Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Chair and members, House Section 8 in the middle of page R4. This modifies the existing reporting requirement for the down payment assistance grant program administered by the Department of Agriculture. You can see there's already certain information that the department must include in that report. The House adds a new on 38.9. The report would now include disaggregated data regarding the gender, race, and ethnicity of those who receive down payment assistance grants from the department. Back to Ms. Painter for soil health and financial assistance.
On pages R4 and R5, you see the Soil Health Financial Assistance Program. This codifies a program that was a pilot last year. The language is the same, except that the Senate also adds a reporting requirement and also allows the commissioner to use up to 5% for administrative costs. And I'm going to pass it back to Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Chair and members, on the bottom of page R5 on the House side begins a series of House-only sections that relate to a couple of different topics. First off, the bee owner and bee kill incident, sections 10 and 11, are the first of a series of sections that were requested by the governor and the Department of Agriculture. They do a few things in total. They decrease the max payment, the compensation payment per bee kill incident from $20,000 to $10,000, expand eligibility for these compensation payments to include commercial beekeepers, and allow the department to award compensation before a pesticide misuse case is completed in certain circumstances. So that's sections 10 and 11, the last section on R5 on the House side. Section 12, pesticide-treated seed, is the first in a series of House-only sections that would require the Department of Agriculture to regulate pesticide-treated seed under the Pesticide Control Act, Minnesota Statutes, Chapter 18B. This first section just defines pesticide-treated seed. Moving on to R6. We have a section 13 on the House side, again, as a definition for purposes of pesticide control law, defining the term systemic pesticide. Section 14 designates the Department of Agriculture as the lead agency in the state for regulation not only of pesticides, but now also of pesticide-treated seed. That's on 40.4. Similarly, Section 15, pesticide impact on the environment, modification to existing pesticide control statutes to require the Department of Agriculture to determine the impact of pesticide-treated seed on the environment, to develop best management practices, or BMPs. And that's it for that section. Moving on to page R7. Switching to a slightly different topic, this is the pollinator research account, an existing dedicated account within the agricultural fund. Money in the account goes to the University of Minnesota for pollinator research and outreach. This is a section that was recommended by the governor and the department. It essentially expands or really builds on the existing eligible uses of the money as specified in statute. You can see it's broken out now into 5 separate clauses, and also importantly requires the University of Minnesota, when selecting projects, to consult the Department of Agriculture. Then at section 17, we're back to the House's pesticide-treated seed provisions. This Section 17 requires the Department of Agriculture to develop a program for systemic pesticide-treated seed and do the following in clauses 1, 2, and 3. Develop guidance, collaborate with the University of Minnesota and others to evaluate, research, and determine whether it's applicable to Minnesota conditions. And then clause 3, to identify additional research needs and projects. And on the top of R8, continuation, along lines of the other 3 clauses I just mentioned, the department would also develop science-based BMPs for situations where systemic pesticide-treated seed use is appropriate in Minnesota, including a process for public comment. Then the last 2 subdivisions just require the department regarding pesticide-treated seed to perform education and outreach and to engage with certain stakeholders. Section 18 would establish a new dedicated account in the Agricultural Fund for pesticide-treated seed research. This account is created in the House bill but does not receive funding at this time. Then the bottom of R8, Section 19, compensation for bees, is back to the theme that I mentioned earlier, changes to the existing beekeeper compensation program requested by the department. That continues all the way through the bottom of R9 and about midway through R10, where we have one last section on pesticide-treated seed, prohibiting certain uses, storage, handling, distribution, and disposal of pesticide-treated seed in Minnesota. And then Section 21 is also pesticide-related, but this has to do with pesticide products that contain PFAS, perfluoroalkyl or polyfluoroalkyl substances. This language would prohibit the Department of Agriculture from registering or approving the use in the state of products, pesticide products that contain PFAS as an active or inert ingredient, effective July 1st, 2024. So essentially 1 year later than the rest of the provisions, unless otherwise specified, would take effect. Section 22 on the bottom of R10, again, House only. This is the governor's recommendation to increase the pesticide fertilizer inspection fee. The increase is on 45.14 on page R11. That fee would go from 39 cents per ton to 64 cents per ton. Then Section 23 is the first, and I can move really quickly through these because it's a package of related provisions, again, requested by the department and the governor and carried in the House bill. And these really update the fee structure for nursery stock certificates by really eliminating the distinction between growers and dealers for purposes of certificates issued by the department. So that takes us through the rest of R11, all the way through R12, all of R13, 14, 15, 16, and about halfway through R17, where I'll describe Section 32. This is the first of a series of sections also recommended by the department that modified the department's industrial hemp licensing and regulatory program. Modifying the description of who requires a license to grow industrial hemp, basically anyone growing hemp, processing hemp, or researching hemp requires a license under this language. It eliminates some ambiguity under current law about whether the person is actually growing for commercial or research purposes. Then on R18, sections 33 and 34 on the House side, these are also hemp-related. Section 33 has to do with who requires a background check as part of a hemp license. And Section 34 states that the department's temporary hemp rules are continued in effect until the department is able to adopt permanent rules, or they just expire on August 16th of 2025. Then on R19, top of that page, Section 35, this is not part of the governor's request. This was a House file, I believe carried by Chair Vang. Both the House and the Senate would put money towards hemp processing equipment grants. The House would codify the program in statute, as you see on the top of page R19. The Senate just has rider language, no statutory language to go along with this budget item. Section 36, amount of fee. This is a governor department recommendation. This modifies the information that registrants must submit when they register their commercial feed with the Department of Agriculture, basically requiring them to present their current labels to the department only upon request, not with each registration cycle. The bottom of page R19, section 37, food handler license account appropriation. Mr. Savory described the language the House carried at the Department and Governor's request to dedicate money that currently goes to the general fund would instead now go to the ag fund and be appropriated back to the Department of Agriculture, in this case for purposes of food handler licensing. It's on the bottom of R37, R19. Then on to R20, almost done with the House only sections, section 38. This is basically, it's a modification and really an increase to the fee that the department charges for food handler facility floor plan review. And section 39 is the other piece of the fee dedication package. Section 39 would dedicate vending machine inspection account revenues, so they no longer go to the general fund. And with that then, I'll pass it to Ms. Painter to pick up on the bottom of R20.
On pages R20 and R21, the Senate Section 4 relates to exempt cottage food producers. The Senate language adds that producers may deliver products through the mail or commercial delivery services. I'll hand it back to Mr. Sullivan for the House-only provisions.
Mr. Chair and members, Mr. Savory mentioned that the House is appropriating $6,000 each year to pay for additional board member meeting expenses. That's due to the section 40 on R21. On the House side, the House would expand the Board of Animal Health, and this is the actual board, not the agency, but the board that oversees the agency's work. It would expand the board from 6 members currently to 11. The House language would eliminate Senate confirmation requirement for Board of Animal Health members appointed by the governor. And it would also change the qualifications of members of the board. You can see the current qualifications are on 56.6 to 56.9. The House would require 2 at-large members, 1 member from a federally recognized tribe located in Minnesota, and 8 regional members, 1 from each of the state's congressional districts. The House language would require the governor, to the extent possible, to achieve gender balance when appointing members to the board, and specifies that members appointed by the governor must be knowledgeable in animal agriculture, animal health, or pets and companion animals, at least 2 of which represent the public and are not employed in a related field. And then finally, on 56.20, currently the board appoints the executive director, the state veterinarian of the board. Under the House language, that responsibility would shift to the governor. Moving on to R22 then. The governor and the department requested repeal of an appropriation that's under current law. Federal chronic wasting disease aid or grants are currently appropriated to the Department of Agriculture. Because the House picked up the recommendation to repeal that appropriation, this is just a corresponding change, a technical change to remove reference to that repealed statute in House Section 41. Then, Mr. Chair, I'll pass it back to Ms. Painter.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Pages R22 and R23, Section 5 of the Senate language adds a member to the Agri Grants Advisory Panel, and that member is meant to be representing the interests of Minnesota tribal governments and may be appointed by the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council at their discretion. And I'll pass it back to Mr. Sullivan for House-only provisions.
Mr. Chair and members, beginning on R23 on the House side are a series of sections that modify the statutes governing the bio-incentive program. The incentive payments awarded to eligible producers of advanced biofuels, renewable chemicals, and biomass thermal energy. In the policy bill, which we'll talk about in a bit, the Senate has changes to this program as well, but they're not in this finance bill, so that's why they don't appear on the left side of the side-by-side that we're looking at currently. There are a number of sections that are modified on the House side, but collectively they do really 3 things. Last year, the legislature established unique or different eligibility criteria for purposes of this program, but only for plants that begin eligible production after April 1st of this year. The House repeals that new criteria for plants going forward from April 1st that was added last year by law. It also, as we talked about during the spreadsheet and the finance side-by-side walkthrough, there's language in here authorizing producers to apply for and the department to pay back payments or deficiency payments when the department awarded less than the full statutory amount due to a funding shortfall, but only for claims filed under the House language after January 1st of 2020. And then the further one change that the House makes throughout the relevant statutes is to limit or end eligibility for this program as of June 30th of this year. So after June 30th, no new producers could enter and be eligible for payments under this program. So there's a set of changes that implement those items on R24, R25, R26, and about 3/4 of the way down on R27. Then we see House and Senate both modified the statute governing the report the Department of Agriculture submits to the legislature regarding activity under the bio-incentive program. The Senate later in the repealer eliminates one program under the bio-incentive umbrella, the Oriented Strand Board Production Incentive Program. So on 38.30, then the Senate makes the corresponding change to eliminate reference to that repealed statute in this section. And the House, on the other hand, adds to the type of information or the information that the department must submit to the legislature and producers must provide to the department. You'll see that there would be several new items that would be required, starting on 62.24 with the producer's business structure, and continuing on R28 through Clause 9, the producer's intended and actual use of payments received from the commissioner. Then 10 is finally the latest financial audit opinion statement produced by a CPA. Then, Mr. Chair, if I can, pass it back to Ms. Painter to talk about the differences in the grain indemnity program language.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Chair and members, beginning on page R28, both the House and the Senate add a definition of failure to a grain buyer. And then the Senate only on pages R28 and R29, Section 8, the Senate makes changes to requirements for grain buyer financial statements. And then starting on page R29 through page R37, this is where we have the Grain Indemnity Fund program. The Senate version of this program is divided into more sections, and the House has one section with more subdivisions, but the reviser's done a great job of matching up the language for us. So you'll see, even though we have different numbers, we're using generally similar language. So a lot of the differences just pertain to those subdivision/section references. So the main differences between the House and the Senate language, you will find on page, let's see, R31. The maximum payment amounts, this is line 46.26 and 42.27 in the Senate side. The maximum payment amount is $200,000 in the Senate version, and in the House version, on their lines 65.26 and 27, it's $300,000 for a maximum payment. The other differences on page R33, the Senate specifies on line 44.21 that premiums are only charged when a producer sells grain to a grain buyer. The House language on 67.20 states where grain is sold to a grain buyer. And then on page R34, the Senate has a section, this is paragraph B, line 45.31. The Senate requires informational posters and flyers to be distributed explaining the opt-out process. And then on page R35, this describes after a producer re-enters the grain indemnity program after having opted out. On line 47.1, the Senate language allows a claim to be reimbursed after 90 days of re-entry. while the House language on 69.26 requires 120 days. Then on page R36, line 71.2, the House language requires the entire bond amount to be available to pay claims. Moving on to page R38. This is the bioincentive report, section 20 in the Senate bill. Requires the commissioner to investigate alternative means of funding incentive payments in Chapter 41A. And then section 21 on page R38 is the Wolf Conflict Prevention Program, which gives grants to people to help prevent wolf livestock conflicts. And I'll hand it back to Mr. Sullivan for the House-only provisions.
Mr. Chair and members, on page R39, section 58, Mr. Savory mentioned the $60,000 appropriated by the House for a feral pigs and mink report. Here's the language that governs what that report must include. And just to note that that report would be led, the preparation of that report would be led by the Department of Natural Resources. Section 59 then is a report required, essentially requires the department to reconvene the grain advisory group and to report to the legislature by February 1st, 2024, recommendations for bonding requirements for grain buyers and public grain warehouses to better protect farmers who sell and store grain in Minnesota. And that's a good segue into the repealers at the end of the House and Senate bills. You'll note that both the House and the Senate would repeal the existing bonding requirements for grain buyers and public grain warehouse licensees. But on page R40, in the effective date, you'll see that the House pushes that repeal out to July 1st, 2024, providing time for the department to get together with the Grain Advisory Group and report recommendations back to the legislature about, even with the grain indemnity program, whether those bond requirements should be repealed, retained, or modified. The Senate and their repealer is section 22 on R39. Eliminates the sunset for the agri program altogether, whereas the House in a previous page pushes the sunset out by 10 years. And the Senate also repeals, as I mentioned earlier, the Oriented Strand Board Production Incentive Program. The House has more language in terms of repealers. I mentioned subdivision 2 on the House side, bioincentive programs. These are the unique eligibility criteria established by the legislature last year, but only for those plants that begin eligible production after April 1st of this year. The House repeals those subdivisions altogether. In subdivision 3 on the House side, this is part of the package of plants, nurseries, and then hemp program modifications that were recommended by the Department of Agriculture and carried by the House. Both the House and the Senate repealed the current expiration date for the Emerging Farmer Working Group. So both the House and the Senate would continue that group indefinitely. And then finally, on page R40, subdivision 5 on the House side, federal funds, that's the statutory appropriation I mentioned that gives federal chronic waste and disease dollars to the Department of Agriculture. Mr. Chair, with that, we've reached the end of the side-by-side for the Articles 2.
Thank you, Ms. Painter and Mr. Sullivan. Any questions on Article 2 from members? Representative Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question on the Grain Indemnity Fund. Now, each body has appropriated several million to jumpstart the program, but also hearing that each body allocates about 1.6 million additionally to the indemnity fund. What is that fund for, Mr. Olson or Mr. Savory?
Mr. Olofsson?
Mr. Chair, Representative Anderson, I believe the 1.5 million from the Agriculture Fund, that would be additional spending, assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Savory, assuming a grain seller goes out of business, this would be the spending that would go and reimburse the grains a grain buyer goes out of business, this would be the funding that would go and reimburse the grain sellers. Do you have anything?
Mr. Savory?
Mr. Chair and members, this was information from the fiscal note that was included in both the House and Senate bills, and it makes assumptions about the periodic failure of grain elevators. So that 1.5 million, much like some of that spending is a projection on what potentially could happen. If there were no failures, that 1.5 million would remain within the account.
Representative Anderson? Ms. Painter, Mr. Sullivan, if you'd like to continue.
Mr. Chair and members, I'll just quickly walk through the remaining two side-by-sides, one for broadband and one for some House-only language requiring financial review of nonprofit grant recipients. So the broadband side-by-side is very short. It's at the top, agriculture budget dash Article 3 broadband. On page R1, there are really just some technical differences in how the House and Senate structured the riders that provide the same amount of money for the same purposes in both bills. Moving on to R2, House and Senate are the same. Senate Section 3, House Section 3, Senate Section 4, House Section 4, increasing the maximum grant amount under the border-to-border broadband development grant program and codifying or making permanent the lower population density grant program that was established on a pilot basis by the legislature last year. Also, both the House and the Senate make a pretty technical change. Senate Section 5, House Section 5, basically running money for the lower population density permanent program through the existing broadband development fund account. The Senate has an effective date on the bottom of R2 that's Senate only, and then on R3, the House, as I mentioned last year, the legislature created the pilot population density program. That, under the House language, would just be set to expire on December 31st of 2026. My understanding is by that date, states need to spend money appropriated by the federal government for broadband development under the American Rescue Plan Act and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. So just to clean up the statutes, clean up the laws, and get rid of that pilot program on December 31st of 2026. Then finally, we have House-only language, Article 4 grants management. There's a typo at the top of this side-by-side. At least the copy that I have says agriculture budget, Article 3 broadband. That should say Article 4 grants management. This is language that the House Ways and Means Committee added to all of the House's omnibus budget bills this year. And it effectively requires those who award grants funded by an appropriation in this act to nonprofit organizations to first examine the financial management and standing of the nonprofits to assure that they're financially viable. So, and if the grantor determines that a nonprofit is not financially capable of awarding the grant, then the agency is authorized, explicitly authorized in this language to withhold, to delay or completely forego the grant to a nonprofit. If the agency does so, then they just need to report to, in this case, the House and Senate Ag and Rural Development Committees within 30 days. If the agency has concerns, they're able to still award the grant, but subject to additional technical assistance and oversight in the grant agreement. So that's House-only language in Article 4, and with that, we've finished the walkthrough completely of Senate File 1955.
Members, any questions on those last provisions from Mr. Sullivan? Now we turn again to Council for discussion of the policy-only provisions in House File 1587. Ms. Painter, Mr. Sullivan?
Mr. Chair, I'll start with the side-by-side for agricultural policy. It's titled at the top, House File 1587. We can move pretty quickly through this. It's relatively short. House and Senate Sections 1 are the same. Request by the Department of Agriculture to update its oversight of Eurasian wild pigs and their hybrids. On page R2, both the House and the Senate carry language that restricts agricultural contracts, basically carbon storage contracts, from including provisions that prohibit the farmer from sharing the terms of the contract with another. Because both the House and Senate language applies to contracts that are renewed, amended, or entered into after July 1st, the Senate makes this section effective July 1st, 2023, which is a good addition. And when the time comes, I would recommend that the conferees adopt the Senate language in this area. Then at the bottom of R2, both the House and the Senate have language that requested by the administration to update its regulation of, or the statutes that regulate the dairy industry. They're the same on the bottom of R2, as are the noxious weed control provisions on page R3, House Section 4 and Senate Section 4. And then Ms. Painter on the bottom of R3, if you would, could describe the Senate only section.
Thank you. Section 5 on page R3 defines minimum risk pesticide. And then on page R4, section 6, it allows those minimum risk pesticides to be used on medical cannabis. And then section 7 on page R4 is a Senate-only provision. There's also a similar provision on page R26, section 67. This shortens the appeal period from 45 to 20 days for enforcement orders. And I'll pass it back to Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Chair, members, on the bottom of page R4, the governor recommended and the House and the Senate agreed to update the Department of Agriculture's regulations of the release of agricultural genetically engineered organisms in the state of Minnesota. Just to note that throughout, you'll see that the Senate specified an effective date for most, if not all, sections. The default effective date for this policy bill is August 1st, 2023. So if you don't see that language on the House side, just know that the House effective date for all sections is August 1st, 2023, unless specified otherwise. So those genetically engineered organism oversight changes continue on page R5. They're the same in the House and the Senate. Or actually, excuse me, they're not the same in the House and the Senate. House Section 8 and Senate Section 11, if I remember correctly, the House language is exactly as introduced and recommended by the department. And the Senate apparently made some changes to that language in committee or elsewhere. I don't know if Ms. Painter has anything on that. Is it pretty technical? Okay. So the genetically engineered organism language continues on R6 and the top of R7, where we begin a series of many, many sections recommended by the administration regarding plant protection and export certification and nursery grower and dealer oversight. These sections, aside from the effective dates, are the same between the House and the Senate. So I'll move very quickly through those. That's all of R7, R8, R9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and then 23. There's an important difference between the language in House Section 61 and Senate Section 64, labeling and advertising of nursery stock. The House language is from Representative Purcell's House file. The Senate language looks like it's just making conforming changes as part of the rest of the package of sections we've just gone through, changing person to entity, for example. There's a significant policy change on the House side. And this has to do with when plants and nursery stock may be labeled as pollinator friendly. You'll see that starting on 24.27, House modifications say that what matters is the concentration of the systemic insecticide, both in the plant's flowers as well as its leaves. And under current law, the threshold for regulatory action is the no observed adverse effect level of the systemic insecticide. The House changes that threshold to the reference value as defined on page R24. That language is on 25.1 to 25.9. So instead of the no adverse effect level, the threshold now would be reference value, meaning the most appropriate value determined by the Department of Agriculture based on its review of pollinator protective reference values published by the US EPA. But if an EPA reference value is not available for a systemic insecticide, or the department determines that that reference value is not appropriate for use in Minnesota or for a specific type of plant material, or nursery stock, then the department may look to reference values from other states, peer-reviewed literature, or other appropriate sources when determining that reference value. Aside from that significant difference in the language, then we're back to SAMES as part of the nursery and plant protection package on R24, House Section 62 and Senate Section 65. On page R25, there are some minor differences between the House and Senate language on the bottom of that page. On the House side, there are some small changes to the language recommended by the reviser of statutes to try to minimize or eliminate ambiguity in this language, but the changes are intended to be very technical. So that's also on R26. You see on House language 27.15, again, this is reviser suggested language to be a little more specific about what plants are being regulated under the new paragraph D. Then, Mr. Chair, I pass it to Ms. Painter to talk about Senate Section 67.
Mr. Chair and members, Section 67, again, shortens the notice period for an appeal from 45 to 20 days. Page R26, Sections 64 and 65 in the House and 68 and 69 in the Senate relate to dairy industry regulations, and the language is the same. Similarly, on page R27, Section 66 in the House and Section 70 in the Senate, again, relate to dairy industry, and the language is the same. Page R27, beginning with Section 71, the Senate has some changes to the production incentives, just adding clarifying language for how materials must be sourced. And you'll see that it's Section 71 on page R27, and then R28, Section 72, R29, Section 73. And then beginning with Section 74 on page R29, this is a Senate-only provision for veterinary technician licensing. Section 74 defines direct supervision for veterinarians and licensed veterinary technicians. Page R30, Section 75 adds a definition for licensed veterinary technician. Section 76 is a new definition for remote supervision. And Section 77 on page R30 adds a definition for veterinary technology. And then beginning with Section 78 on page R30 and continuing to page R31, there's adds the veterinary technicians to the license renewal section. Page R31, Section 79 is a little bit different. It's relating to institutional licensure, mainly for University of Minnesota faculty. It replaces the existing faculty veterinary licensure provisions. Page R32, Section 80, page R33, Section 81, there's additional provisions relating to the licensed veterinary technicians. And then page 34, Section 82 is is how non-residents can get licensed as veterinary techs. Section 83 on page R35 relates to the institutional licensure category. And then on page R36, Section 84 also relates to the changes to the institutional licensure. And then on page R36, we see the repealers. The Senate-only provisions repeals the prohibition on below-cost sales of dairy products, as well as the existing University of Minnesota faculty veterinary licensure. Other repealers are similar The genetically engineered organisms, plant protection in nurseries, and dairy law provisions are similar. And that concludes the policy-only bill.
Thank you, Ms. Painter and Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Savory and Mr. Olafson for your thorough and clear presentation of the complexity before us. Now, folks, we're moving into public testimony at this point. We have a lot of people to hear from, and it's important that everyone get heard. But I am going to say again, let's aim for 2 minutes, people. We're going to aim for 2 minutes and hopefully be as efficient as we possibly can as we proceed through this process. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to call up 3 people at a time. We will hear testimony from 3 individuals, then we will pause for questions from members, and then we'll move on to the next 3. And I'm going to apologize in advance for mispronouncing your last name. So if we could start, Mr. Laurie, Ms. Bemis, and Mr. Smentek, if you would please, take a position. Please state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready in that order.
Thank you, Chair Putnam and Chair Vang and members of the conference committee. For the record, my name is Stu Laurie. I'm Government Relations Director for Minnesota Farmers Union. And on behalf of our members, I am honored to share our support for provisions included in both bills. I think when farmers and all Minnesotans who care about our ag system look back at this year and think about the challenges that producers were facing coming out of COVID-19 and otherwise, and also the incredible opportunity presented by a historic budget surplus, I think they're going to be really proud and thankful for the political leadership that you all showed this year, making investments that will not only benefit farmers this year, but also build a more distributed, resilient, and fair food system going forward. And the first provision, I won't be surprised that I'll raise, is the creation of a grain indemnity fund. This is something that we've been talking about and working on for 8 years now. I remember when I started at Farmers Union, one of the first things I testified on was your bill, I think, Representative Anderson. And finally getting this done and addressed in both bills required a lot of political leadership, a lot of work, and we so appreciate it. And thank you, Senator Kupek, for your leadership on that. We prefer the funding level in the Senate, making sure that account is funded in a way that will ensure that it's solvent and protecting producers on day one. And then we outline in our letter a couple policy provisions in the House version that we think might make the fund stronger. Also want to share our strongest support for the meat processing provisions. Hugely exciting, again, building on work this committee did previously, the investments in new and emerging farmers, establishing the Emerging Farmers Office, funding core capacity at the Rural Finance Authority, not only creating new programs, but making sure that everyone can access the incredible programs that we have. Another one, funding cooperative development grants, something that Chair Vang, you've worked on for a number of years, and we're finally going to get done this year. Of course, there are pieces that we appreciate the opportunity to continue to work on, Board of Animal Health being one of them, but broadly, your investments in creating new markets through farm to school, biofuels infrastructure, the LEAF program, and otherwise supporting producers are so appreciated. Would welcome the opportunity to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Laurie. Ms. Bemis, please.
Thank you, Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, and members of the committee. My name is Caitlin Bemis, and I'm the Public Policy Specialist at Minnesota Farm Bureau. Farm Bureau represents nearly 30,000 family farmers from across the state of Minnesota, and thank you so much for allowing me to testify today. First, thank you for your hard work and investments into the soil health program, meat processing, vet diagnostic laboratory, agriculture emergency account, and AGRI, specifically around biofuel infrastructure, among many other provisions. Many of these are crucial to our agriculture sector, but in the interest of time, I would like to touch on a few brief provisions where we have concerns. MFBF has concerns surrounding the systemic pesticide-treated seed provision. This is a vital tool for our farmers who utilize these products to lessen the need for sprayed pesticides. Pesticides, whether sprayed or coated on seeds, already go through a rigorous process through the Environmental Protection Agency. We also have concerns surrounding the modifications of the Board of Animal Health. We believe the changes could weaken the board by including individuals without the appropriate knowledge or training to be able to properly engage the work of the board. Because the board oversees disease containment or euthanasia requirements, it is imperative that the majority of board members have experience in animal health. The BOAH has proven time and time again that it functions in a successful manner. Additionally, developed through a grassroots policy process, MFBF believes that the state general fund dollars should be the only source of revenue for a grain indemnity fund. Through this guidance, we are not supportive of a producer-funded indemnity program
And MFBF requests a general fund appropriation of at least $9 million with a preference that the account be funded at $15 million. While the bill currently proposes an opt-out provision function through the refund process, we believe that a better process would allow a farmer to choose to participate before paying into the fund. Thank you, and I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Bemis. Mr. Smentek, please.
Thank you, chairs. Thank you, members of the committee, for allowing us to testify. I'm Joe Smentek. I'm the executive director of the Minnesota Soybean Growers Association. Our association appreciates the hard work and are supportive of many of the provisions in here. In the interest of time, however, I am here to testify primarily over our concerns on the regulations of pesticide-treated seed in this bill from the House. We testified against those provisions there, and we were happy to see some of the changes made. However, the language still remains very problematic for us for a number of different reasons. First of all, these, as mentioned by Ms. Bemis, these chemicals are regulated by FIFRA. There is not an exemption for treated seed. The exemption comes in when you have a treated seed. The pesticide itself has to go through the approvals, has to go through the regulations, has to be used like it is with on the label. Where the exemption comes in is when you put that chemical onto a seed, you don't have to re-register chemicals, your treated seeds. You still have to follow the label, you still have to follow all the controls. Those treated seeds are then covered under RCRA, the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. They have to be disposed of as an industrial waste. Many of the provisions in this bill are redundant to federal law, and we feel will distract the MDA from work that is vital to be done. We have seen the Department of Agriculture respond to chemical needs in individual needs in the state. Primarily dicamba a few years ago in the state of Minnesota was causing some concerns. We had groups that said we needed to ban it. We had groups that said the groups that producing the chemicals said we should follow the EPA label and allow for more use. The Department of Agriculture properly looked at that, came up with regulations on how to deal with these things for the state of Minnesota, put in appropriate guidelines, appropriate guardrails, and we have not had problems to the extent that we had a few years ago with the use of dicamba. There is nothing in state law that says they can't do the same for these chemicals if there is a specific need. Therefore, most of this language is redundant and not necessary, and we would not support its inclusion in the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smentek. I'm going to just pause for questions for these three individuals. And I'd like to start with Mr. Laurie or perhaps Ms. Bemis. You both expressed a preference that the Grain Indemnity Fund be begun with a robust initial investment. Can you explain why, please?
I can start. Thank you, Chair Putnam and Stu Laurie, Government Relations Director for Minnesota Farmers Union. For the record, we very much appreciate the Senate's level of investment. First and foremost, this is a fund that is there to protect producers. So you've both heard in committee really powerful stories from farmers who've had their livelihoods nearly wiped out. MDA has said on the record that farmers have gone bankrupt waiting for payouts from the bonds. And so we want to make sure that we're creating on day one a system that will protect producers and that we can be confident if there is, God forbid, elevator failure or a grain buyer failure that is large enough to require the fund, that we're prepared to handle that. I think if you look at what happened in Iowa, they had their fund too low in recent years. It hadn't been updated to reflect increasing commodity values, and they ended up getting caught flat-footed, and some producers didn't have the protection that they thought they would have. So, finally, and I'll just say it's a foundational investment. This is a one-time investment that the committee can make this year that will protect producers next year and into the future. 20 years from now, farms are going to be saved by your work this year. So we recognize that that's a hard ask, and it's a big one in the context of this bill. We very appreciate it, and we feel like it's worthwhile. Thank you.
Ms. Bemis, anything to add?
Yeah, Chair Putnam, thank you, Caitlin Bemis, again, Minnesota Farm Bureau. I would echo a lot of what Stu said. Farm Bureau does go through a very extensive policy process with our members, and overwhelmingly our members support having a state-funded program. I do feel like a lot of our members possibly do trust their co-ops that they sell their grain to, and so I don't think that they'd want to have to invest if they don't want to, but that's where our members stand.
Thank you, Ms. Bemis. Members, any questions for these three individuals?
Mr. Chair, if I could answer
Mr.
that as
Smentek,
well.
certainly.
Just the Minnesota Soybean Growers Association does support a fully funded plan. We do not support one that would have a blink on right away and put that burden onto the farmers. That we do support the Senate language and Senate funding on that, simply because right now there's still supply chain issues, high cost of fertilizers, other costs that our farmers are incurring. There's some of the issues with taxes and things are being addressed in other committees. However, at this time, you could really drive some of our young farmers out of business by putting this additional fee on them. I think there would be a stigma among our membership of being the person that opted out of this and not being seen as doing their fair share. So there'd be a lot of pressures on them to be a part of that, and that's why we fully support the Senate funding, which wouldn't have the blink on right now.
Thank you, Mr. Smentek. Members, any other questions for these three individuals? Senator Westrom.
Chair, Mr. Smentek, does your organization support it being a voluntary program, or does it support everybody having to pay in and then get their money back months or a year later?
Mr. Smentek.
Right now, we support a fully like Farm Bureau, Senator, we go through a very robust discussion on our policy, and the language that we settled on as an organization that we supported being fully funded with an option, an opt-out provision, basically. So it would not blink on right now. If that was the case, we support it being you pay in and then you can get the money back if you want.
Thank you, Mr. Smentek. Senator Westrom. Members, any other questions? Senator, Representative Anderson.
Just a comment. There may be some wondering why the state would jumpstart this program. But I'd remind members that if an elevator would happen to go bankrupt, it's not the farmer's fault. It's due to whatever speculation, whatever, on the part of the elevator. And again, I support a robust contribution by the state into this fund, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Anderson. Again, any other questions for these three testifiers? All right, you're off the hook, folks. If we could, Mr. Macbeth, Ms. Runholt, and Mr. Tunnell, if you would please take a seat. And in that order, if you would please state your full name for the record and commence your testimony.
Do we need to sit in that order?
Good morning, committee members. Darren Macbeth, representing the crop protection industry. I'm going to go through in two different sections some testimony of House-only provisions on pesticides, starting with the pesticide ban if it contains a PFAS substance, and then I'll conclude with some of the pesticide-treated seed and systemic pesticide areas that some of the previous witnesses also just touched on. So the PFAS ban, if it contains, or the pesticide ban, if it contains a PFAS substance that's in the House bill put on the department, also comes with $1.7 million in the first biennium. That is all, for reasons I'll get into, could be definitely used by your committee in other areas because, as was mentioned earlier, all pesticides, including those formulated with fluorinated chemistry, must already be evaluated and registered by the EPA prior to applying for and receiving state registration in Minnesota. EPA will not register a pesticide when it's used in accordance with the label if it causes unreasonable adverse effects in the environment or if there's any reasonable certainty of harm to human health. Pesticides are very unique in this sense, with more scientific data available about them than any other products available in commerce today, with oversight from no less than 5 or 6, depending on how you count them, federal agencies overseeing their registration and their safety. To require the Department of Ag to force pesticide registrants to prove the absence of a PFAS molecule in their formulations, first, simply isn't necessary, as for reasons I just said. The product's 10-year trial registration process already thoroughly evaluates the safety and the product's use in the environment and on human health. And secondly, and this is important also, the testing methodology isn't available to provide an affidavit showing the absence of one of, really, depending on how you count them, nearly 10,000 types of PFAS molecules that are just all not the same. The EPA has only one internally validated method for the detection of PFAS compounds in oily matrices, such as pesticides, because they have different kind of tests for different types of chemistries and different types of uses. And that one approved method can only detect 28 PFAS substances.
Two final points on PFAS substances and pesticides. Of the 10,000 plus types of PFAS substances, as I said, not all are the same. And secondly, in recognition of this and the extensive testing and safety evaluations required by the pesticide registration process, the European Union, who has undertaken a significant Europe-wide restriction on PFAS substances, actually expressly excluded pesticides because of the thoroughness of what's already tested. And then I won't belabor getting into the second area of what's in Article 2 at pages R5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 on the pesticide-treated seed and the systemic pesticide definitions. It was a little bit touched on in the last testifiers, but, Joe Smentek with the soybean growers said it well, a pesticide is a pesticide. Whether it's a foliar application, whether it's a granular application, whether it's treated on a seed or a seed treatment, it's thoroughly evaluated and thoroughly tested. And it's a misnomer that it's exempt from testing just because it's applied to a seed. So I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Macbeth. Mr. Trinnell.
Chair Putnam and Chair Vang, members of the conference committee, my name is Alex Trinnell, and I'm on the policy staff with the Minnesota Corn Growers Association. I just wanted to quickly highlight two items that we strongly support that were included in both the House and Senate bill, as well as a couple of concerns that were included in the House bill. Thank you both for including funding for the Biofuels Infrastructure Grant Program. Continued investment in this program will allow few retailers to offer mid-level blends such as unleaded 88. And this investment will give consumers a choice at the pump to use a more affordable, cleaner burning fuel. In 2022, unleaded 88 sold for 17 cents per gallon less than regular 87. And your continued investment in this program will allow Minnesota to continue to lead the nation in a number of locations offering mid-level blends at nearly 500 locations statewide. Within the next 2 years. Additionally, we appreciate both the House and Senate including funding for the Soil Health Financial Assistance Program. With the pilot program that was funded last year, receiving 13 times the number of applicants compared to the dollars available, it is clear that Minnesota farmers are ready and willing to participate in this program, and we would strongly encourage the conference committee to support the Senate funding of at least $1 million per year. As been mentioned a couple times, the first item that we have concerns with is around the new systemic treated seed program that was included in the House bill. Though the provision around the verification of need was removed earlier in session, there's still a lot of questions about what this program will lead to down the road. The EPA has delegated authority to MDA to regulate pesticides through the framework that was created by FIFRA. And through this delegated authority, MDA regulates pesticide and as an extension, pesticide-treated seeds. Not only is this program in direct conflict with the EPA's delegated authority, but is also redundant with the EPA process for pesticide review and registration. There is no difference in how a pesticide used for over-the-top application versus a pesticide used for seed treatment is registered through EPA's rigorous years-long process. And contrary to what advocates may think, increased difficulty in allowing farmers to use treated seed will likely increase the use of pesticide use through direct application of these products rather than reduce the use. We also have concerns with the House bill directing MDA to not register certain pesticide products. Directing MDA to not register products in Minnesota would be in direct conflict with the delegated authority the EPA has given the department. I would mention as well in the fall of 2022, the EPA did ban 12 PFAS compounds from being used in the inert ingredients for pesticides. This is a step in the right direction, and we would encourage the department to look to EPA for further guidance on how to address the PFAS in registered products. These are the items that we support and have concerns with. There's additional items that we support and have concerns with that are in our written testimony, and appreciate the opportunity to provide some testimony today. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Trinnell. Ms. Runholt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and our Chair Putnam and Chair Vang. I'm Ashley Runholt. I'm the agronomy sales manager at Cottonwood Co-op Oil Company, and I'm also an MCPR board member. I want to thank you guys both for your acknowledgement of ag and what ag provides, not just for our local communities, but also for the entire state of Minnesota. Truly, thank you. Again, we also recognize your guys' hard work on the border-to-border broadband. Coming from a rural area that does not have broadband, I appreciate that. Thank you. I also appreciate the effort that you guys have on the emerging farmers programs and grants. Coming from an emerging farming, my husband farms and we're emerging also, so it is not unnoticed and it's greatly appreciated. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of why we're here. I would like to say, to kind of conserve time, here's the following things that I oppose, and then I'll give reasoning for why I oppose them. So in Article 2, Section 13 and 14, 17 and 18, and Section 20 and 21. Section 13, the wording systemic pesticide was also include fungicide and pneumaticides. Currently, both are being monitored by the MDA, and none are on the groundwater watch list. So just something to kind of be mindful of with the language. Section 14 would hand over sole control over the Ag Commissioner for regulating and deregulating pesticides. This would be the same as giving the Director of Health sole ability to control what gets processed in the state of Minnesota for health procedures, so any medical procedures. Section 14 would give sole control to the Ag Commissioner for regulating pesticides, so that's a great concern. Not with our current commissioner, but who's to know who's going to be the commissioner in the future. Section 17, the U of M already currently has BPMs for seed treatment. I would like to see that it would also include an economic survey of non-chemical treated seeds to ensure that they are also safe. We currently have to hold pesticide license to treat seeds. So like I have my A and H license, and every 3 years we have to go through additional training. That's a true trickle down effect. So I go through the training, and then I also coach my farmers and growers to make sure that they're handling the seed safely. Section 18, as much as I support the fertilizer research fund, I am concerned that this provision would be set up similarly down the road. So what I mean by that is I'm concerned that you guys are going to get some flack later down if you try to put a tax on it, especially with the farming community, and just by the language of the bill, that's kind of what's insinuated on it. And then section 20 and 21, both are almost identical to the federal regulatory process and the federal regulation. So they're just very redundant. There's not a whole lot of difference, if any, that the federal federal regulation already states. So similarly to what the gentleman over here said about the PFAS, the fluorinated chemicals that are listed in the bill are already under current regulation from the federal government. So it's just redundant. In closing, I greatly appreciate the opportunity not just to be here to represent all of ag retail, but also along with all the farmers inside the communities. If I've got time to allow, I really want each of you guys to understand that we take our jobs extremely serious as agronomists, and we want to make sure that what we're recommending is safe and sound, not just for ourselves, but also for our growers. We drink the water, our kids play in those fields, and we're exposed daily to all of these chemicals. So we want to make sure that they're safe, and that we're not going to give somebody cancer down the line. So I appreciate your guys' effort today.
Thank you, Ms. Runholt. Members, questions for these three testifiers? Senator Westrom.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Macbeth, can you talk a little bit more about the PFAS language in the House bill and just the practical effect that would have on agriculture and the concerns that might come with it?
Mr. Macbeth.
Mr. Chair and Senator Westrom, the House provision is one sentence long and on PFAS and says as follows: the commissioner must not register under section 18B.26 a pesticide product that contains a perfluoroalkyl or a polyfluoroalkyl substance as an active or inert ingredient. What's also part of the fiscal note or the financial prediction of the impact of that, in addition to $1.7 million that's allocated for the department to do that, which I can talk about, but there's also a $800,000 per year kind of prediction by the department of fewer pesticides that would be able to be registered as a result of that. But getting to the substance of a perfluoroalkyl and a polyfluoral, it's a single or a poly molecule of a strand of a fluorinated carbon. And they're being weeded out, so to speak, by the EPA currently. And those, as I said in my testimony, there are literally thousands of types of PFAS, fluorinated carbon chemistries that prevail in all our society. And unlike many other substances, pesticides undergo, as you've heard many times, a very, very rigorous review in trials and evaluation by the Environmental Protection Agency and other agencies. And the risks and the presence of all the compounds are taken into account. And they're not approved without trial and error and being risks evaluated and being deemed to be ultimately safe if they receive a registration. And lastly, you asked about the practical effect of the provision. Because of the inability to test, and I know the provision is set up in a way that it doesn't put the testing on the department. It gives the department $1.7 million to work with industry to put the onus on them to prove or disprove the presence of a PFAS molecule. But of existing pesticide products, there would be an immense logjam of testing in addition to the inability to even test because there's only 28 PFAS substances with the oily matrix test that can show the presence of one of these molecules. So the practical effect would be likely a lot of products that are already registered and deemed to be safe would be unable to be registered because industry and the department couldn't disprove whether there's these molecules in there or not.
Senator Weston.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Macbeth. I guess I raised the question because I'm hearing the broad sweeping concerns that could go along with this, and the common practice and current practice of a lot of crop weed and pest controls, and so I just wanted to confirm what I've been hearing. So thanks.
Thank you, Senator Westrom. As a bit of a quick follow-up, Mr. Macbeth, can you help me understand this a little bit? And this is a similar concern that was raised by Ms. Runholt. I'm hearing the EPA is already doing this, so what we're talking about is redundant, but I'm also hearing that it's impossible to do. Can you help me square those two things? Does that make sense? What I'm hearing is you're saying that the EPA is already taking care of this, and then I'm also hearing you say that because of the complexity of the chemical and the presences where it might be, it's impractical to do. So how does that jive?
Mr. Chair, that's a very good question. And my understanding is, and the attention on PFAS molecules and being able to identify what they are and whether they're in compounds or not is a relatively new dynamic. Or there's a lot of attention federally and in Minnesota and other states about protecting and getting rid of and avoiding PFAS however possible. You have a body of work or a backlog of, not a backlog, but you have products, including pesticides and many, many other products in our society that are already out there and have already been evaluated and approved. In the case of pesticides, they've been evaluated and approved for the environment, for human health, of any and all and whatever compounds are in the formulation. And so there's a retroactivity kind of component to this of to go back and look at what's already on the table or what's already been registered or what's already in our, of whatever product it is, of going back and looking and testing to determine what's in there versus on a go forward basis of newly registered or newly reviewed products. And in all cases, unfortunately, I'm only able to, not able to explain why, but of the many, many, many types of PFAS molecules or substances and the variety of testing, the oily matrix test is the one that's applicable to pesticides. And according to the EPA itself, because a very similar provision came up in the state of Maryland, in the Maryland legislature and the Maryland Agriculture Committee to do something similar. And correspondence came forward from the Environmental Protection Agency acknowledging that to test or to take a pesticide and to put it through a test to determine the formulation or the presence of a PFAS molecule, they could only test for 28 of the 10,000.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. McBeth. Chair Vang?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Ronald, you mentioned that you have a concern that potentially these fees could be taxed. Can you elaborate why you may think so?
So the way that the bill is worded, it's to set up kind of a research fund for pesticides. And I'm assuming it's similar to the fertilizer pesticide fund or fertilizer research fund. If that's not the case, I fully support it. I just don't want it later down to be another additional tax. I personally fully support any research going to seed treatment to make sure that we are using correct BPMs and that it's location-specific treatments that we are using and that we can utilize. So that way, one, the growers don't have additional costs, and two, we're not misusing any seed treatments in general.
Chair Vang? Representative Purcell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a follow-up question perhaps for Mr. McBeth. So what is the safe level of exposure to PFAS and PFAS?
Mr. McBeth.
Mr. Chair, Representative Purcell, I don't have an answer to that question.
Follow?
Can I follow up on the PFAS just as a broad comment?
Sure, Ms. Romo, what you got?
PFAS is kind of a hot topic, and I don't want to be on the wrong side of history by any means when it comes to PFAS. It's something that's relatively new and founded relatively new, and basically layman's term of PFAS would be forever chemicals. So we don't necessarily know how they're degrading into our soil and into our water. So it's definitely something that I appreciate your guys' awareness on. But with that being said, there has to be some kind of a happy medium. As far as researching it, I think that it's a little bit too new of a discovery. I could be wrong on that. But as far as I've known and researched, it's a fairly new discovery. It looks like it is pretty nasty. But most of the ingredients that chemicals have that are included on the PFAS list, it's listed as inherent ingredients. So we're looking at less than 0.2% in some cases of a total mixture within chemicals. And most of the PFAS inside the chemicals themselves are for stabilization. So like if we have a product like Resicor XL, take for example, not XL because they changed the formula to exclude PFAS, but straight Resicor was approved a couple of years ago. Basically what it is it's 3 chemicals that are combined into one, so that way we don't have to tank mix separate chemicals on the go. It's just kind of a ready-to-use product. When they re-registered to make Resicor XL, they took out an inherent ingredient that had a PFAS in it. So that product we only used for about 2 years at limited use anyways. So not that it's something I don't want to take seriously, because it is very serious and it has serious repercussions. One well-known PFAS would be Teflon. So we know kind of the dangers behind that. And I appreciate your guys' effort looking into it. Just the wording in that particular section is redundant to the federal label.
Any further questions for these 2 testifiers? All right, folks. Free to go. So next up, we got Mr. Clavin, Ms. Ressler, and Ms. Hanson. And folks, as you're testifying, remember, we're aiming for 2 minutes. If you could look up at me on occasion, I will give you a hand signal if you are running out of time. And that either means wrap it up or steal second base, your choice. Mr. Clavin, if you would please get us going. State your full name for the record, and then can you testimony when you're ready.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Bruce Clavin. I represent several groups with interest in this bill, and I'll reveal those as I go through. I have 4 fiscal items to direct your attention to and 1 policy matter. And rather than be redundant on things that are similar in the bill, these are all differences in the bill. First one you'll find R5, lines 6.23 to 6.31. This is $50,000 to study crop damage for deer. A couple years ago, we started to hear about this problem. Last year was a handful of people, and this year I'm hearing a lot of deer eating round bales, especially in cattle yards this spring. I don't know if it was a long winter, but it's different this year, and so something needs to be looked at here. So cattlemen support that provision. Number 2 is found on R8 and R9. There's a similarity here. This is the avian influenza, up to $1 million for research. This appropriation was first put in 2015. And in the Senate, we had a short discussion. This came late in the session, otherwise we would have had a bill, but we suggested amending the rider language, and the Senate took that up to have a grant program, similar to the livestock wolf conflict that you see in another part of this bill. This would be a bird livestock conflict prevention grant, lasers, sound machines, things like that, to try to keep the wild birds away from the poultry barns. And so there's a lot of grant programs in the bill, and this would be similar. So we support the Senate language on that as well. The next 2 are both on R15. First one, and these are both Senate side. First one is Northern Crops, $60,000. This was Senator Kupek's bill he carried for us. Minnesota wheat growers support this, as well as the soybean growers. This is located on the NDSU campus. I looked back, I stopped looking in 1991. This has been a 30 or 32-year appropriation of varying amounts. This year's bill is $60,000, so it's been in place for 30, 32 years, and we support the Senate position on that. The next one is below that, beginning on line 16.5. This is $75,000 a year each year for Minnesota Turf Seed Council. This is located up in Roseau. The first appropriation for this group was in 1948 from the predecessor of the Iron Resources Rehabilitation Board. And they do turf grass research there. And this really can be thought of as the original Forever Green initiative for those of you interested in that. So we support the Senate provision on that and would ask the House members to consider that. Then my last piece for you today, Mr. Chairman, is a policy. This is R21. This is the board animal health discussion that you've heard about. I suspect the folks to my right are going to discuss this provision. Just to let the new members know, we had this issue in 2021, 2 years ago, in the conference committee. The same bill, the same language you see on the House side was brought then. And what was done in 21 was a new member was added, a 6th member. It used to be 5. It was 3 producers, 2 vets. The change in 21 was to add a member. It was a tribal member who had to be a livestock producer. So we still have livestock and vets. The change here would radically change the board makeup in our view. I'm speaking for Minnesota turkey growers and the state cattlemen on this issue. But what I want to focus on quickly here is the powers. You know, there's a lot of boards around here, LCMR, Lessard, the Plumbing Board, Workers' Comp Advisory. There's probably dozens of them. This one's got powers, and you'll find them in Chapter 35.05. Board may quarantine any domestic animal. They can order the eradication of the herd if they so choose. When the governor declares an emergency, the board can commandeer the University of Minnesota labs and facilities. We had an outbreak of TB back in 05-06 up by Thief River, and there was quarantine discussion. This board has quarantine authority, and they can quarantine folks up to 72 hours. So we would ask you to give serious consideration to what's being done on the Board of Animal Health due to the powers. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Thank you, Mr. Clavin. Ms. Ressler?
Good morning, Chairs Putnam, Vang, and Conferees. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today on the Omnibus Agriculture Broadband and Rural Development Bill. For the record, I am Jill Ressler. I serve as the CEO for the Minnesota Pork Producers Association. My testimony will be brief this morning and focus primarily on the language in the House bill that would make changes to the Board of Animal Health. Earlier this session, we testified on the behalf of Minnesota pig farmers, expressing concern over proposed changes in our current Board of Animal Health. My testimony today will echo those prior comments. Minnesota pig farmers strongly support the current structure and expertise requirements of the Board of Animal Health and believe the state veterinarian should be appointed by the board. The Board of Animal Health serves its mission well. We believe this is large part and due to the leadership and guidance of farmers and veterinarians that have both the technical expertise and lived experiences that inform the board's decision-making processes, especially in major animal disease outbreaks. The input from knowledgeable board members provides direction to the state veterinarian and staff in an agile way that is accountable to farmers, veterinarians, and Minnesotans. Our farmers also believe it is important the state veterinarian remain an appointment by members of the board and not by the governor. The decisions of our state veterinarian directly impact the livelihood of farmers across Minnesota and the health and well-being of their animals. Disease preparedness and response in Minnesota must be apolitical. If changes to the board are necessary, we understand adding an additional seat or seats for producers or veterinarians, increasing the scope of expertise to the current board. Thank you for your consideration of our comments.
Thank you, Ms. Ressler. Ms. Hanson.
Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, and committee members. I'm Elaine Hanson. I'm here on behalf of the Minnesota Pet Breeders Association, which is a volunteer nonprofit organization. I could just say what they said and stop here. However, my statement's brief, so I'm going to read it. Our concern is Article 2, Section 40, the amending Chapter 35 of the statutes. This is a proposal to change the membership of the Board of Animal Health from 6 stakeholder members who are immersed in animal health in their daily lives to a board comprised of 11 members, most of whom would be chosen on the basis of where they live and who present themselves as being knowledgeable about the health of livestock or pets. Practical experience, academic credentials, and personal involvement in raising animals are not among the criteria. Just having some knowledge from whatever perspective would be sufficient. I've heard nothing mentioned that the board might do more effectively with this structure, but it does have the potential to allow politics and ideology to influence how the board carries out its responsibilities. Protecting animal health must be grounded in science. Animal diseases do not observe geographic or political boundaries, and they must not be regulated that way either. This structure would not enhance the board's mission or improve its functions. It would not improve service delivery or better protect animal and public health. The author of this proposal said it is needed because times change, but the board remains the same. It's now composed of people for whom raising animals is a profession, a calling, and we think it should stay that way. Not because we've always done it that way, but because it works. There are further details of our concerns in your packets. In the interests of all Minnesotans and the domestic animals we care about and care for, we ask you please to omit this provision from the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hanson. Members, questions? Okay. Our next 3 testifiers will be Mr. Sjostrom, Ms. Sosnauczyk, and Ms. Tesh, please. In that order, if you would, please state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready.
Hello, chairs, members of the conference committee. For the record, I'm Lucas Sjostrom, Executive Director of the Minnesota Milk Producers Association, also a dairy farmer and cheese plant owner in Bruton, Minnesota. By the way, tomorrow is ice cream day at the Capitol, so we'll see you in the Star of the North room. There are many valuable items within this bill, but the Dairy with an I has shown success as a rebate reward. Dairy insurance in the U.S. is only about 10 years old, and it's only been working well for about 4 years and 4 months. Minnesota invested $8 million, our last real big downturn in 2019, and dairy farmers responded by signing up at nearly 20% or more above the national average. We had a rough 2019, but you may not even know we also had a very rough 2021 and now a rough early 2023. And the reason we're not here talking about those major losses is because we are and were insured. $8 million saved hundreds of millions of dollars. So as a $10 million investment this year, it would be matched by about $50 million from dairy farmers around Minnesota. And maybe in 2024 or maybe in 2029 or somewhere in between, we could be saving that most vulnerable 10 to 30% of dairy farmers who are cash strapped when they should be signing up for this insurance, but make the decision not to for short-term cash flow reasons. Also, a few words on the Board of Animal Health reorganization. We stand with the previous testifiers in the last panel as to not politicize a board of experts whose job it is to keep our state's animals healthy and progressively safe in a moment of identification, or movement and identification. Thank you. Please consider investing $10 million in Minnesota's $9 billion dairy industry, or in other words, $50 billion industry over the next 5 years. Thank you, and I'll stand for questions.
All right, good morning. My name is Rachel Sosnochik, and I oversee state policy work for Second Harvest Heartland, our region's largest food bank. As a reminder, we are the sourcing and distribution backbone of Minnesota's Hunger Relief Network, providing 94% of the food that our agency partners rely on. I'm here today to discuss the current appropriation for the Farm to Food Shelf program included in both the House and Senate Ag budgets. First, we recommend against including language requiring purchases from food hubs, as seen in the House bill, as it's not compatible with how sourcing through Farm to Food Shelf works. We are proud to already work with a food hub, the Good Acre, to buy produce from their network of farmers outside of the funding provided through this budget. We anticipate distributing over 500,000 pounds of produce in partnership with them and their farmers this next growing season. Happy to provide further information on this provision as you proceed with your work. I also just want to address the overall appropriation for the program. We understand that the $250,000 a year increase was not guaranteed given the limited budget, and so we appreciate that both Chair Putnam and Chair Vang found room to support our work. But this number does fall well short of our initial request for an additional $4.4 million to expand the reach of Farm to Food Shelf. The $250,000 increase remains actually the only funding on the table in any committee this session that will support Minnesota's food banks. And for context, this translates to just about one additional month a year of milk costs. You've heard us talk about last year's record number of food shelf visits, which are up 50% compared to 2021, and already those numbers are continuing to rise this year. For example, Channel One Food Bank, which serves southeastern Minnesota, saw their highest number of food shelf visits ever in March of 2023. And across their region, they served over 23,400 households last month, which was a 23% jump from February. They said they've simply just never seen need grow this much and this quickly. In the recently released Minnesota Food Shelf Survey, fresh produce, proteins, eggs, and dairy were overwhelmingly the most in-demand foods, yet those surveyed said these foods were only available about half the time at their local food shelf. Farm to Food Shelf is designed to source these exact foods from Minnesota farmers and get them directly to those who need it most. Without additional funding and with demand at food shelves continuing to rise, too many will continue to go without despite a historic budget surplus. The vast majority of the food that food banks like ours provide is sourced through private donations or bought with charitable contributions. Our request for additional Farm to Food Shelf funds represents a modest but meaningful public investment in our work and would enable us to better support our hunger relief partners and, most importantly, Minnesotans facing food insecurity. So on behalf of our state's network of food banks, we again encourage members of the committee to do anything in your power in the remaining weeks of this session to increase funding for this critical program. Thank you so much for your time and for all you do to support Minnesotans facing hunger.
Chair Putnam and Chair Vang and committee members, thank you for letting us testify today. My name is Julie Tesh, and I am President and CEO of the Center for Rural Policy and Development. I appreciate the time given to me to speak to you today, and I appreciate all of your work in the agriculture and rural development arena that is so critical to the success of our state. I'm here today to ask that you reconsider the appropriation to the Center for Rural Policy and Development. The Center for Rural Policy and Development was established by the state of Minnesota in 1997 to serve as a statewide, nonpartisan resource for rural policy research and its communication. Since then, the center has become recognized as a leading and sometimes only source of information on the economic and social forces that affect rural Minnesota. Our work encourages positive civic engagement in communities, among many other things. Our research is being used by townships, cities, counties, economic development organizations, and the state legislature to help develop good policy across rural Minnesota. All one needs to do is look at the current child care legislation and note that the Center for Rural Policy and Development is the organization who started the conversation several years ago with our research reports. At a time when nonpartisan, non-biased research is scarce, it would be a shame to have this work disappear. The current proposal in the Agriculture Committee has CRPD getting completely cut out of the ag budget. Getting cut by $150,000 means job loss, plain and simple. This is 21% cut to our budget. We are already operating with a skeleton crew of 3. In front of you, hopefully, if not, I do have copies with me today. In front of you are additional letters of support from organizations that heavily rely on our research. These are just a few of the organizations and municipalities who rely on our work to make good policy decisions for rural Minnesota. Thank you again for your time, and I hope you will reconsider restoring our funding.
Thank you very much. The three of you, members' questions. Representative Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Shostrom, could you comment briefly on the short, intermediate term outlook for dairymen? I've talked to dairy guys that say their break-evens are in the low to mid-20s, and I see the Class 3 futures price is $17, $18 a hundredweight. Those numbers don't fit very well. Could you comment on that?
Mr. Shostrom.
Yeah, chairs and Representative Anderson, you're exactly right. I think that's probably an average. What's happening right now, though, is we probably have one of the widest spreads from cooperative to cooperative and processor than we have. So some might be making $15 per hundredweight right now. Some may be making that $18 or $19, but I think break-even costs are around $19. And our goal, we have a huge opportunity ahead of us in the next 5 years to be exporting. New Zealand and Europe just cannot keep up. The Midwest is going to be where we raise cattle. So the more dairy farms that we can ensure in the next 5 years, we expect that will set us up for success for a long time. Thank you.
Representative Anderson. Members, any other questions for these three? Okay, thanks very much, you guys. Now we have Mr. Cowan, Zhang Tao, and Shelley and Fiona Harris, if you would, please. Again, in that order, if you could please state your full name for the record and then commence your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Thanks for having me here. My name is Chris Cowan, and I'm a contract lobbyist with the Pesticide Action Network, and then also speaking on behalf of the Minnesota Environmental Partnership Pollinator Cluster. Clean water, healthy soil, and fresh air are not only what pollinating insects, birds, and mammals need to survive, but all of these make up the foundation that all humankind relies on to exist. There are many canaries in the coal mine to which we are wise to pay heed. And then I'd just like to speak to a couple of things that have been brought up already. The MDA said in their letter that they have several concerns about provisions in the House bill as written, including regulation of treated seed and pesticides containing PFAS. And I'd like to comment on those. We do need to get the forever chemicals out of all products, including pesticides. And I have introduced some documents that I hope that the department and the committee will think are helpful in providing a roadmap out of this serious dilemma. And these have a level of detail that previous testifiers I don't think went into. These are all from Maryland, and the documents I submitted to the committee are for Maryland, and I didn't have time on Friday to make them Minnesota-centric, but I did my best to provide accurate information. Environment Testing, Test America, a letter here that I provided to members that shows how you test for PFAS and pesticides. They've been doing it for years. They do it on an ongoing basis. It's not as limited as what's been said. And also from Maryland, the types of tests that they have, that they note from the EPA. There's the main one being method 357.1. There's the 1633 method. I literally do not know what this all means. I am not an expert on these things, but this is information that I am providing that I believe is accurate, that has been in the discussion in Maryland with the EPA and the loop. You can test for these things in pesticides, and you can do it accurately, and it doesn't have to cost a fortune. I would also say that regarding this, the reason for doing this was outlined very well by a toxicologist named Dr. Stephen Lassie. He's a resident of Duluth. Members in the House heard his testimony, and very compelling. And it takes very little amount of PFAS to cross the boundaries of what's safe for human exposure. If you look at the what's safe for water, it went from 2 trillionths to 4 trillionths regularly. This is still a great concern, and we need to address these things. In closing, I would just like to say that, regarding the treated seed and the A12 amendment that on the House side, that's what makes up the language that is in the bill. I was under the impression that the MDA played a role in the writing of the amendment. Would like to talk about that more. And regarding treated seed, the folks that I work with, we share many of the same concerns as expressed by the State FIFRA Issues Research and Evaluation Group, which serves as a permanent standing committee of the Association of American Pesticide Control Officials. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Cowan. Mr. Tao.
Thank you, chairs, members, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. My name is Zhang Tao. I work at the Good Acre as a farm program specialist. Thank you for having me here to testify today on the LEAF program, Local Emergency Farmers Assistance Fund. I've been there for 3 years and 3 seasons and 2 years. And the LEAF program, I help with receiving the farmers' produce and outbound. We ship it to food hubs, food shelves, anywhere that will take their produce. We send it to, currently right now, we're sending it to 3 charter schools, the food group and Loaves and Fishes. Prior to that, we also sent it to Catholic Charities, Phillips, Free Stores. There's a couple more that's, I don't remember, but the biggest impact that we have with LEAF is that we help the farmers, and the farmers, in turn, we also help the community members. They receive the produce through the schools. It's not just farmers that we help with the LEAF program. It's the community members, the schools, the students, the teachers, everyone there. Last time I went out there, they were very appreciative of receiving produce, because most of the time they get canned goods, dehydrated, preserved foods. They're very appreciative of getting fresh produce from us. And they always thank us, but I always tell them to thank you guys, because you guys make it possible and make it happen. We're only helping a tiny percentage. If we could get more help, our impact would be more, have a greater reach in the community. So,
thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Shelley Harris. I'm from St. Paul. Thank you for letting me testify today. This is my daughter, Fiona.
Hi, my name is Fiona. I am 16. I went to Woodbury High School.
Over the past year, Fiona has been asking when she could have a job like her older brother. And unfortunately, there aren't a lot of options for a 16-year-old that has Down syndrome. So we created one. My wife and I started the Treat Wagon, which makes and sells dog and cat treats as a way for Fiona to gain skills and have meaningful employment. Being able to obtain a cottage food license was a low-cost entry into having a flexible small business. We've been actively working for a few months now and have ran into a few issues, the largest one being delivery of our product. We've had to drive to St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, Edina from St. Paul when it would have been easier to ship or drop the product off to someone who could have passed it along to the buyer. Our pet treats are dehydrated and packaged in sealed bags, making them low risk for contamination. As a business owner, the last thing that we would want is to have an issue with our product that could put an animal at risk or have someone unhappy with what they purchased. Hand delivery does not make our product any safer. If anything, it creates more delay getting it to the consumer. Fiona currently is working to learn the baking and selling process, but our hope is that she will be able to self-manage this business as she gets older, which would also include delivery. Since transportation for her would be difficult, alternate options would be a big benefit for her and others who may have limitations with in-person delivery. Please support the inclusion of the cottage food provisions in this omnibus agriculture bill. These changes would support more modern-day options for small business owners and individuals looking to create flexible and meaningful careers in the cottage food industry.
Thank you. Members, any
And
questions?
We brought some samples for the committee, so if you have a dog or a cat, I hope you can enjoy them.
Oh, no, these were for dogs?
Thank you.
Members, questions? Seeing none. Hey, thanks for being here, Fiona. It's good to have some young people in the house.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Ms. McKee, Ms. Caravo, and Ms. Lemke, please. Again, in that order, if you would, please state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Putnam and Chair Vang and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Erin McKee. I'm the Community Food Systems Program Director at the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy. And I'm also speaking today representing a broad group of stakeholders who have been advocating for farm to school and worked on the initial establishing of the current grant program as it exists at MDA. So I'm asking today for you to strongly support farm to school and early care in the final Ag Omnibus bill, particularly by including the following priorities. Excuse me. So we are so excited that the House and Senate and Governor's proposals all supported including early care providers as eligible applicants to the MDA grant program. And we did ourselves at IATP, we did a pilot grant program for early care that showed a really high demand. So we see this as an untapped market for our farmers, and we're really excited about the potential to connect our littlest eaters to fresh, healthy food during a key window when they're developing their taste preferences and eating habits that will carry forward for the rest of their lives. We also are looking at, we're very excited about the Senate including the appropriation for $150,000 per year for a full-time farm-to-school coordinator position at MDA. We currently have a partner, a staff person who has about 30% of their time that they can dedicate to farm-to-school, but that's not sufficient to support the whole state. And we believe that this would be a big boost to the capacity as local purchasing is growing across the state as well. And then we would just love to thank you for increasing the funding for the grant program to $1 million per year. That was included in both the House and Senate versions of the bill. We were especially excited to see that the House included this increase in the base funding as well. And I've testified before about how last year we were able to see an increase from an infusion of federal funding that MDA secured through a cooperative agreement with USDA, and they actually were able to offer over $4 million for this grant program, but the demand still exceeded that amount. So we really are hoping that we'll see that $1 million and that can be a permanent increase to the amount available for this grant, as the demand is very high and people are very excited about this program. So I did include an evaluation report on the grant program that IATP worked with Extension to produce, especially looking at the economic impact for farmers. So you hopefully will find that in your materials. And my comments were also written there if you want to reference back, but I'd certainly love to take questions. And I'll just say that farm to school and early care is good for farmers, good for our kids, and good for our communities. So we thank you for your support.
Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, and members of the Conference Committee, my name is Jennifer Caravio. I'm the Vice President of the Minnesota Cottage Food Producers Association and owner of Zella Maize, LLC, a cottage food business in Mankato. Thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of the inclusion of the cottage food provisions in Senate File 1955, which would allow cottage food producers to ship their products. The MNCFPA supports all cottage food producers in Minnesota, both rural and urban, and at the end of 2022, Minnesota had a record 7,309 registered cottage food producers. As an association, MNCFPA researches and develops curriculum to further support food safety in the state and offers business development opportunities and guidance for cottage food producers. We work with cottage food producers every day and deeply understand the needs of our cottage food producers here in Minnesota. We surveyed our members, asking for their input most in the last few weeks on how the language in Senate File 1955 would impact them. I'm including in my testimony a booklet from our association highlighting excerpts from the letters and emails, and then a collection of emails and letters from the survey, and I believe you guys have them. And there's quite a few emails and letters in there. These letters show that for many cottage food producers, having the ability to ship their products will make a big difference for their businesses, their families, and their communities. Allowing shipping presents an opportunity to further invest in Minnesota's small businesses and improve access to locally sourced food. This investment will greatly impact and improve the lives of Minnesota's diverse cottage food producers, enabling more cottage food entrepreneurs to reach their full business potential and provide for their families. Additionally, it provides Minnesota's consumers with the choice of how they receive their food products. Our customers often ask us to ship products, and we must turn them away. The state's current prohibition on shipping is an unnecessary restriction on our businesses because all Minnesota cottage food products are non-perishable, shelf-stable, and do not require refrigeration. These foods are among the safest foods that can be shipped to consumers, not only here in Minnesota, but across the United States. This reform further supports the establishment of small businesses, which include women, veteran, and BIPOC-owned businesses and farms, by allowing cottage food producers to maintain and grow their customer base and reach the gross revenue cap of $78,000. This in turn helps cottage food producers use the cottage food law as a stepping stone to open a licensed brick-and-mortar food establishment if they choose. Minnesota cottage food producers have proven to be a valuable, safe, and an important part of the local economy. We respectfully ask the committee allow us to do what cottage food producers do in 35 other states already safely, and to support us to flourish here in Minnesota. Thank you for your time and consideration, and if you have any questions, let me know.
Good morning. My name is Laura Lemke. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Grain and Feed Association. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today on behalf of the grain elevator and feed mill industry. As I've testified to previously, MGFA is deeply concerned about the repeal of longstanding regulations for the licensed grain buyer and warehouse industry contained in the Grain Indemnity Fund provisions of the Ag Finance Omnibus Bill. The Grain Surety Bond program is commonly misunderstood and has been often conflated with producer protections. For clarity, grain surety bonding is a financial screening mechanism by an independent third-party surety for those applying for a grain buyer or warehouse license in Minnesota. Grain surety bonding is not insurance, and its purpose has never been to make producers whole in an insolvency situation. By repealing the grain surety bond program for all licensed grain buyers and warehouses, you are reducing regulatory oversight of the state's entire industry. Currently, one must clear the hurdle of financial scrutiny by an independent third-party surety and then maintain ongoing financial strength to withstand that scrutiny in order to stay licensed in Minnesota. The new provisions only subject a person or entity to have a grain surety bond for the first 3 years of operation. If insolvency occurs, the bond can be used to pay back the indemnity fund. If the committee would decide to keep the grain surety bond program, MGFA would support eliminating the need for grain buyers and warehouses to annually submit financial statements to MDA entirely, or at least remove the audit and review threshold level of $7.5 million. As we've heard repeatedly, that threshold level has cost industry members significant amounts of time, money, and effort to comply with the statute. Regarding the grain indemnity appropriation amount, if the committee chooses a funding amount below $9 million, MGFA is supportive of the provision to delay the collection of grain indemnity premiums until July 1st of 2024. The grain industry will need time to work with their computer software vendors to write or develop software programs designed to work within their current systems to collect the grain indemnity premiums. Finally, MGFA is open to or supportive of the House's provision to reconvene the Grain Advisory Group to further discuss bonding requirements for licensed grain buyers and warehouses. Thank you.
Questions for these two testifiers? Representative Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this is something we need to look into. And Ms. Lemke, under current law, are all grain buyers and those that store grain mandated to be bonded?
Ms. Lemke.
Senator Putnam and Representative Anderson, if you're going to be a licensed grain buyer or warehouse in Minnesota, you either have to have a bond or you can use a letter of credit, irrevocable letter of credit, I believe. And that you have to get through your bank.
Representative Anderson.
Just a quick follow-up. We had several elevator failures over the last few years. At the time they went under, did they also have bonds in place?
Yes.
Ms. Lemke.
Senator Putnam, Representative Anderson, yes.
Members, any other questions? All right, our next group is, sorry. Senator Westrom.
Just quick, Ms. Lemke, you mentioned about the need for changing your software, updating it by July 2024. Can you expand on that? What is it you'd be needing to do?
Ms. Lemke.
Senator Putnam, or Chair Putnam, Senator Westrom. Right now, grain elevators, a lot of them use software programs to be able to run their business. They do not have the ability right now to collect a grain indemnity premium. It's something that will have to be written into their software programs.
Senator Westrom.
Sure. Ms. Lemke, is that something you expect the state would just send out one set of software or one piece of software that elevators would be able to download and use as part of the reporting mechanism?
Ms. Lemke.
Like campaigns use reporting software through Campaign Finance Board, or would it be something you envision each elevator needing to augment or change on their own system?
Ms. Lemke.
Chair Putnam, Senator Westrom, no, the state will not be helping grain elevators do this. This is a cost that grain elevators will have to bear on their own. So as I said, they will have to contact their software developers and work with them in order to work this into their accounting systems.
Senator Westrom.
Well, Mr. Chair, Ms. Lemke, wouldn't you almost think it'd be easier to have one system of software developed to report that could be downloaded on a computer, or however it ends up, versus having 100 or 200 or 300 different entities develop their own?
Ms. Lemke.
Chair Putnam, Senator Westrom, right now, grain elevators do not use the same software across the board. Everybody has a different accounting software that they like to use. So they will need to, again, work with their software developers to put a fix into their system.
Any further questions for these testifiers? Okay, folks. Ms. Plegan-Cooley? Mr. Sandifer and Mr. Dawson, if you would please.
Hi, my name is Sina Plegancool. Thank you, Chair Putnam and Chair Vang and members of the committee. I'm the Communications Director for the Minnesota Farmers Market Association. Thank you for allowing me to testify today and for your hard work this session as we listen to the needs and wants of Minnesota's food and agricultural communities. As you enter negotiations, the Minnesota Farmers Market Association sees urgent value in the provisions that support Minnesota's food farmers and food makers, strengthening Minnesota's local food shed. Thank you for the inclusion of $100,000 for a one-time appropriation to farmers markets included in the state's budget, the Senate's budget. I'm here today to share our support for this measure and ask that the language be expanded from just food aggregation and food hub support to more closely follow the language in the bill Senator Kanish and Representative Liz Lee championed and allowed investments for training, infrastructure upgrade, establishing SNAP EBT at all markets. Farmers markets are our community's essential small business incubators, allowing thousands of farmers and food makers to sell directly to consumers, generate their own income, and nourish their communities. Minnesota has a record high of over 373 farmers markets, and these markets generate over 134.6 million in gross sales annually statewide. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw how important short, diversified supply chains were when large box grocery store shelves were burdened due to the supply chain interruption. Farmers markets continued to feed and nourish our communities during the pandemic, providing access to fresh, healthy food. These markets would not run successfully without the support of numerous state and nonprofit partners to provide all training on food laws, food license, farm financial literacy programs, food safety, sales tax on food, etc., for farmers and food makers. This important and crucial work is currently funded by securing many different grants that could be alleviated with a one-time grant to each market. These funds would be used to support the sustainability of farmers market operations, such as expanding SNAP EBT to all markets. Less than a third of Minnesota farmers markets can afford to offer SNAP EBT. Scholarships for food safety trainings for farmers market management and vendors, permanent signage for year-round visibility, storage structures on locations where possible to lessen the burden of the haul. We're hopeful this will support the adoption of the $100,000 for a one-time appropriation of farmers market included in the Senate's budget. We especially like the language that allows for the investment to include farmers markets in Minnesota, the tribal nations, and the urban Indian communities, many of which are emerging farmers, young farmers, and farmers of color. Again, we ask that the language be expanded from just food hub support to meet the needs of Minnesota's food farmers, food makers, Minnesota's local food shed to maximum the impact of this investment. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Shay Sandifer, C-H-A-Z. Yes, that's why I giggled. It's okay. It's okay. I am here today. I am the founder and CEO of the new MPLS, Let Go, Let Flow, and Stories Behind the Menu. We focus on racial health and equity through the lens of fitness, wellness, and nutrition. I am the only Black woman-owned farmers market in the state of Minnesota out of 373. I've managed and owned and operated for 7 years. I have seen the change in communities through civil unrest and also the health disparities and food disparities in communities. We now have a permanent location in Robbinsdale, Minnesota, in partnership with the city. Over the last 7 years, I have funded all of the farmers market every year up to 2 years ago. Luckily, with partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield, they came in, saw the work we were doing, and decided to help us be able to implement new systems and programs. As Sina stated, we have had lots of difficulties getting SNAP and EBT. I'm happy to finally announce that this year, we finally got approved with some funding to get that done. It has been lots of challenges. It has been overwhelming at times to look at what is happening, how we're not able to offer that. So this year, we're very grateful for that. On top of this, this would really help us to help implement more systems and have more staffing. Over the last 6 years, I have been the only staff, so I've operated behind the scenes and worked every farmer's market. I'm a little tired. I currently, like I said, operate 3 businesses outside of that. I love and have a passion for everything I do to be able to have the farmer's market and have this. We're beyond a farmer's market. We're a wellness market. We make sure that we have everything from fitness, wellness, and nutrition there. But it is tough. It is tough to find funding to operate the market. I see the disparities between us not being able to get a farm yet. I would love to be able to get a farm and implement that back into the system. So I hope you hear everything we're saying. I hope you take this in stride and understand that we need the help. We need the funding to keep things running. And for also, I guess I'm speaking for every Black person in Minnesota that's trying to be a farm, trying to have a farmer's market, that we want to do the same work, but we need your help and assistance. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, and members of the committee. I am Charles Dolson, a Red Lake Nation tribal member. I serve as the CEO of Red Lake Inc., owned by the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians. Our mission is to develop and grow profitable businesses that create meaningful value to the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians. One of those businesses is Red Lake Farms, which grows, harvests, and markets cultivated wild rice and other specialty foods. I am testifying in support of the House version of the bill providing funds for the wild rice breeding project. Some say the Senate language is already a compromise with the capacity not to change anything.
I'm here to tell you it is not a compromise. When the Senate language was drafted, no one asked Red Lake Nation for our input, even though Red Lake is one of, if not the only tribe who offered an official position. As drafted, the Senate language has the capacity to not only change things, but will likely be the end of our valuable research program. Specifically, the House provides funding for 2 years for cultivated wild rice breeding project at the North Central Research and Outreach Center to include a tenured track research associate plant breeder. It is imperative this language remains in the final bill. Red Lake Nation is the 5th largest Minnesota cultivated wild rice producer, supports the House language for the following reasons. Wild rice has been and still is a healthy food for people and an integral part of traditional feasts and ceremonies. Cultivated wild rice is not a threat to native stands. On the contrary, research is critical to ensuring the prosperity of both cultivated and native wild rice stands. The seed grown on our farm came from the breeding project, the very project the Senate language is eliminating. If the funding is discontinued, all progress will be lost. Unlike most crops, wild rice does not have a viable long-term seed storage method. Therefore, the seeds must be grown out every year. There are some misrepresentations that cultivated wild rice is genetically modified. This is false. The program is not genetically modifying wild rice. Red Lake and other cultivated growers do not support GMO wild rice. Our program is a traditional breeding project. Did you know that there are currently 2 university positions working on wild rice? Dr. Kimball and Dr. Dockery. When cultivated wild rice received the agreed position, the university hired a tribal position within a year. So there is currently university work on behalf of the entire wild rice industry. Both positions participate in the wild rice advisory group meetings convened by the university up to 4 times a year and for the cultivated and natural wild rice stand representative to discuss research needs, and areas of collaboration. All growers and tribal communities are encouraged to participate. Wild rice represents one of Red Lake's most prosperous enterprises. In fact, we have recently expanded our role in cultivated wild rice. Thus, we support the cultivated wild rice breeding project as noted in our resolution that you have 2 copies of. We ask you to adopt the House language retaining the tenure track plant breeder and the wild rice breeding project. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Members, questions for these 3 testifiers? I guess we're good.
Thank you.
Our next 3 testifiers are Mr. Imlay, Ms. Cox, and Ms. Kohler. You will please state your full name for the record and commence your testimony in that order, please.
Good morning, Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, members of the committee and staff. My name is Peter Eimel. I'm chair of the Minnesota Cultivated Wild Rice Council and a farmer in Northwest Minnesota. I'm here today to speak about the Minnesota treasure and our state grain, wild rice. We're fortunate to be the only state left that has both a significant amount of native stands within our borders and a substantial cultivated wild rice industry. If possible, I'd like to submit written testimony that would complement and, in the interest of time, expand greater on what that economic impact is from the cultivated wild rice industry. Additionally, I'd like to submit written testimony that would go into great detail about a compromise that we believe would be available between the House and Senate language that you have before you. What this would do would provide continued support for the foundational research at the University of Minnesota that's been going on for more than 6 decades, as well as adding support for research into native stands. If the committee decides that there's insufficient funding to meet both of these needs in its entirety, we'd be willing to go a step further and suggest that $50,000 to $100,000 of the existing agreed funding be committed specifically to additional research on the native stands. As Mr. Dolson laid out, one of the unique aspects of our crop is that we are not able, due to its biology, to store seed long-term, meaning that we have to grow out everything every year. So even a short hiatus in the breeding program would cause 60 years worth of advancements to be lost. That would be devastating to our industry for a variety of reasons, but I believe in the long term that would also be devastating to the native stands that we have in Minnesota. I thank you all for your time and thoughtful consideration of the proposal, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Chair and members, for the opportunity to testify in person today. Thank you for all of your leadership during the session. I'm Lori Cox, and I farm and lease land to food farmers in Carver County. I've previously submitted testimony in support of emerging farmers. However, some dots may not be fully connected due to the breadth of activities, goals, and needs. I wish to provide that here briefly, but keep in mind it does not constitute an exhaustive list. Budget dollars need to provide for local and regional food access and create safety nets. It's in our best interest, and COVID-19 taught us that. These producers receive the least amount of direct support and programs, and I request your prioritization, please, for the following. Pollinator protections. A majority of food producers rely on wild and domesticated pollinators and beneficial insects for crop production and protection. Several types of bees are officially livestock per USDA. Climate-positive products like elderberry and hazelnut in the Forever Green program, the LEAF program, farmers markets, food hubs, co-packing and commercial infrastructure for collection, aggregation, point of sale, distribution of healthy foods to communities, urban, suburban, and rural. This struggle is in your communities today. Extend winter greenhouse research for longer market seasons. Product expansion and sales equals increased income for these producers, their families, local economies, suppliers, and jobs. Farm to school, where it equals income for producers producing directly for and being paid by school districts, which benefit everyone. Continue expanding the fractional budget of MDA's Emerging Farmer Office to increase staffing levels, outreach, resources, and economic results inherent within their statutory mission. Equipment and infrastructure grants are necessary to kickstart businesses. This vast majority doesn't have land or equipment and have historically had little to no supports here or at the federal Farm Bill level. We can and must do better. Your yes vote today and in the future solidifies commitment to their ability to feed their families, sustain economies, and provide for our food security. And I thank you again.
Mr. Chair and members, my name is Amanda Kohler, and I'm the Policy Manager for the Land Stewardship Project. First and foremost, I want to thank you for your hard work this legislative session to put together a budget that truly delivers for our farmers, our rural communities, and our state. This morning, I want to highlight two pieces of written testimony for you all. First, a sign-on letter from nearly 300 farmers, processors, and farmers market managers urging the conference committee here to prioritize a number of local meat processing, emerging and beginning farmer, local foods, and soil health and climate measures. Folks from most of your districts have signed, and I encourage you to take a closer look. You may find a familiar signature in there from former Chair Mike Sundin. Second, a more detailed and written testimony from LSP. I'm going to highlight just a few of the key measures that are only present in either the House or Senate bill with my time. First, it's crucial that the final bill include the $100,000 in the Senate bill to support small-scale meat processors with technical assistance and health, safety, and business development trainings, which is supported by a variety of groups here in this room and outside. Next, the House and Senate bills work to make the down payment assistance program more accessible and equitable in various ways. The House proposal targets funds to emerging farmers, while the Senate proposal requires a 30-day application period and limits the match to $5,000. We strongly support all three of those changes and have been working in concert with the Midwest Farmers of Color Collective on these issues. Next, we urge the committee to include the Senate's proposal to establish a farm-to-institution coordinator position within the Department of Agriculture. A dedicated position will be able to bring our state's local food economy to the next level. Next, we strongly support the House appropriation of $100,000 per year to facilitate the startup of co-packing facilities, commercial kitchens, cold storage, and other supply chain infrastructure. This is incredibly important for our local food systems, but it's also not an affordable thing to build for our farmers and our processors and food businesses. Next, it's crucial that the final version of the bill establishes a climate coordinator position within the department. The position will invest just $150,000 per year, but will pay off for our state, as this position will secure millions of dollars of federal dollars for Minnesota farmers and agencies, amongst other responsibilities. Finally, LSP strongly supports the House proposals related to PFAS, and protecting our pollinators. Our farmer members do not want PFOS and PFAS in their inputs, but they are struggling to find alternatives. Farmers don't deserve to get cancer on the job, just like all of us. We all Minnesotans deserve to be safe from our water and in our communities and homes. Moreover, our farm and food system depends on having healthy pollinator populations. We can't feed our communities without them. Before my time's up, I just want to underscore remarks from our partners at the Minnesota Farmers Market Association and the Good Acre regarding appropriations for our farmers markets and $300,000 for the LEAF program. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Members, questions for these three testifiers? Okay, thank you very much, folks. Up next, Dr. Hunter, Mr. LaFontaine, and Ms. Cervantes, if you would, please. Dr. Hunter.
Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, and members of the conference committee. My name is Mitch Hunter, and I'm the Associate Director of the Forever Green Initiative at the University of Minnesota. We are working to develop new crops that protect soil and water while driving new economic opportunities for growers and industry. This is a win-win-win for farmers, the environment, and rural communities across Minnesota. I want to say that we greatly appreciate that both committees supported us in their respective bills. As you determine the final funding amount in this conference bill, we would like to encourage you to prioritize long-term base funding for our initiative. This is our most critical need because developing and launching new crops is a long-term endeavor. Specifically, the Senate included an increase in base funding of $345,000 per year, bringing the total to $975,000 per year. This amount of funding would enable us to stabilize key scientific personnel, including our plant breeders, many of whom lack dedicated funding. The lower funding amount proposed in the House bill would present hard choices, and we would not be able to stabilize those key personnel. In addition to the base funding, one-time funding for equipment and infrastructure will enable us to accelerate the pace of discovery, achieve even more with state research dollars, and secure more large federal grants. We greatly appreciate that the House committee included $1 million in one-time funding for this purpose, and we encourage this committee to maintain that funding level. I should note briefly that we also strongly support funding for the Continuous Living Cover Value Chain Development Fund grant program run by MDA. Now, to be clear, these grants would flow through MDA and ultimately support private companies. They would not directly support our research, but they are essential to scaling up our crops and building profitable industries around them. Forever Green crops are a market-based approach to improving Minnesota's environment, and our vision is that they will spawn new industries that ultimately operate without financial support from the state. However, public support is needed to achieve this vision. Research at the U is critical for the development of Minnesota's major crop industries, including hybrid corn, soybean, and wheat. Forever Green crops are the next generation. We appreciate the committee's support. Thank you for your work, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Peter LaFontaine, and I'm the Ag Policy Manager at Friends of the Mississippi River. I was debating using my time to have everybody get up and do jumping jacks, but I think I'll go to my testimony instead. FMR's top priorities before this committee are appropriations for the Forever Green Initiative and the Department of Agriculture's Continuous Living Cover Value Chain Development Fund. We believe these programs deserve your support for a host of reasons. First and foremost, they're a promising solution to our water quality, rural development, and public health challenges. Secondly, they undergird the development of new agricultural markets in Minnesota, including the tremendous potential of Forever Green's winter oil seeds for sustainable aviation fuel and renewable diesel. These novel crops have some of the lowest carbon intensity scores of any feedstock, making them the subject of intense interest from commercial partners. Thirdly, they're bipartisan. Last year's bills were authored by Republican senators, including Senator Westrom, and Democratic representatives, and were among the few ag measures included in enacted legislation. And last but not least, these programs really do exemplify the One Minnesota slogan by uniting agribusiness, farmers, environmental and conservation organizations, research institutions, and others across our state and region. We at FMR are grateful to the committees for including Forever Green and value chain development grants in the Omnibus, alongside other worthy sustainable ag and food systems programs. We understand that you have some tough decisions to make, and I appreciate the chance to make a final pitch. The Forever Green initiative routinely achieves a 5-to-1 federal return on state investment, and as I mentioned, the winter annual oilseeds, scientists have recently made advances that could position them as a major sustainable cash crop on millions of acres in our region. And meanwhile, the small and mid-sized local companies that make up the emerging value chains for perennial and winter annual crops need our support now if they're to reach their potential and unlock the transformative power of continuous living cover. I recently spoke with farmers and entrepreneurs at a conference organized by the Regenerative Agriculture Alliance, and it was obvious how much demand there is for this program and others that will help us build out the sector. Developing new crops and markets takes time, but investing in equipment, facilities, and people can significantly shorten how long it takes to stand up viable enterprises. We get what we pay for, and there are few better investments than Forever Green and the MDA's Value Chain Development Grants Program. Thanks for the chance to engage.
Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, and members, for the record, my name is Keely Cervantes, and I'm the Food and Agriculture Program Manager at Conservation Minnesota. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. My family raises beef cattle and grows corn, soybeans, and small grains, and I myself am a former small farm owner and operator. Our mission at Conservation Minnesota is to protect the people and the places that Minnesotans love, and I advocate for the health of our communities, soil, and water to achieve this goal. I'm here today in support of several provisions in Senate File 1955. Conservation Minnesota supports the bill's vital investment in soil health and water quality, as enhancing soil health increases soil resilience and the capacity to hold water and advances pollinator habitats and cropping systems. Our ability to prevent harmful erosion, protect farmland yields, sequester carbon, and improve water quality is dependent on healthy soils. We support funding for the Senate's inclusion of the Soil Health Financial Assistance Program and Continuous Living Cover business grants, and funding for the House's inclusion of the Pollinator Research Account, the MDA Climate Coordinator position, and the identification and regulation of pesticides containing PFAS chemicals. Additionally, we encourage overall funding for agronomic and cropping systems research, market support, equipment, and physical infrastructure. We support continued funding for Forever Green and their effort to increase farm productivity with perennial and winter annual crops. By expanding capacity, incorporating funding for cover cropping into existing agricultural practices, and providing equipment and services necessary for those working the land, we will better mitigate on-farm risk and increase positive ecosystem and climate impacts. We support the funding of biofuel equipment and infrastructure, and for renewable natural gas and anaerobic digestion projects that will aid the decarbonization of Minnesota's agricultural economy and assist farmers in offsetting the cost of fertilizer. We applaud the bill's investment in beginning farmers, women and farmers of color, in farm-to-school markets and food and farmland access, and in urban agriculture and youth education. The effort to connect emerging farmers to land through the Senate's version of the Down Payment Assistance Program and the House's beginning farmer equipment and infrastructure grants will increase farm viability and economic output. There's strong public support for utilizing the state surplus to invest in mitigating the impacts of climate and increasing Minnesota's strong leadership on statewide conservation and water quality. This bill can advance meaningful, cost-effective legislation that benefits the stewardship of our environment and agricultural communities, and we appreciate your consideration and commitment to a strong omnibus focused on these issues. Thank you.
Members, questions for these testifiers? Seeing none, Ms. Bujold and Ms. DeJernet, if you would please.
Good morning. My name is Marita Bujold. I'm the founder of Just Food and Water Initiative and the creator of the Economic Resiliency Program featured in House File 2881 and Senate File 2940. Today I'm here to talk to you about urban agriculture and investing in that. Chair Putnam, Chair Vang, thank you for the opportunity to recommend public investment for urban agriculture. I know that throughout the legislative session of this committee has heard compelling testimony in support of the emerging local food economy. Urban agriculture represents a vital part of that economy. It is not possible today to present a complete picture of urban ag in all its forms, so I will highlight local initiatives organized to offer opportunities to youth and young adults. In the metro area, these initiatives have emerged in response to demand for both access to land for food production and to the demand for affordable sources of healthy, fresh, and prepared, culturally relevant food. These community-based programs for youth have evolved to combine the science and art of growing food with culinary programs and landscape restoration. The programs offer a hands-on learning environment designed to nurture leadership and entrepreneurial and life skills, and to connect the youth to one another, to their communities, and to a common purpose. Together, the skills, teamwork, and knowledge gained from participating in these urban ag programs provide a foundation for employment as adults. It is impossible to overstate the value and relevance of training our youth in the art and science of food. These wonderful young people will play a vital role in the food economy we need to design in response to the impact of unpredictable weather conditions. We know it's not possible to control the weather, but with good leadership and planning and public investment, Minnesota can design and operate locally adapted regional food economies capable of normalizing food and water security and delivering health and well-being for all urban, suburban, and rural communities. The youth participating in urban agriculture programs today will be tomorrow's leaders in the just, responsive, and sustainable food economy we need to thrive. Investing public funds now to sustain staff and grow programs and provide resources for infrastructure such as greenhouses, storage facilities, and water management systems will yield long-term benefits. I understand that $1 million investment is proposed. This is a modest but vital investment in urban ag operations. Thank you very much.
Chairs Putnam and Vang, and committee members. My name is Jennifer DeJornett, and I'm here on behalf of Clean Water Action. Minnesotans support the language in this bill that states that the commissioner must not register a pesticide product that contains PFAS as an active or inert ingredient. On Friday, I attended a funeral. A 20-year-old young woman named Amara Strandy died 2 days before her 21st birthday and 3 days before seeing the House pass the PFAS non-essential ban that she worked so very hard on. Amara spent the last months of her life full of cancer, full of pain, testifying in House and Senate committees about growing up in the 3M Plume area and attending Tarleton High School. Amara testified she felt she got that cancer because she lived in the wrong zip code by no fault of her own. The chemical class known as PFAS is linked to cancer. Testicular cancer, thyroid cancer, liver disease, preeclampsia. The man-made chemical is found in 100% of breast milk and so much more. PFAS is PFAS. All have been studied and all have negative impacts. The manufacturer knew this as early as 1950s, that PFAS builds up in blood, and their internal studies showed that there were negative health impacts associated with exposure because it bioaccumulates in our bodies and attacks our DNA. We know PFAS is toxic. We know PFAS costs Minnesotans tens of millions of dollars to clean up, and our country hundreds of millions of dollars. The EPA is lowering drinking water standards related to PFAS because increased studies are showing the dangers of PFAS outweigh the benefits. Yet, PFAS is used in pesticides, thereby allowing the product to spread further across our land, where it persists because of its nature, and it's classified by the EPA as a persistent pollutant because of its half-life. It enters our water, our food, and only to eventually enter our bodies and never leave, causing us harm. We acknowledge our farmers and our agricultural community needs to have efficient and effective farming operations. But our farmers and their families and the support staff that harvest this food deserve to be protected from toxic chemicals because they are essential and they are valued. We need to come together and work towards protecting our critical farm community, just like we all should have protected Amara Strandy and kids like her years ago. You shouldn't be more at risk because you live in the wrong zip code or because it's more profitable to someone else to not value your life, your health, or your safety, or because we lack the political will to do the right thing because it's inconvenient, or someone else says, you just need to give us more time. We support the language in this bill as is, and we want to work with our other stakeholders, whether they agree with us or not, to protect our farmers, our agricultural community, and support our agricultural business so that we can find language that meets all of our stakeholder needs. We also urge the Department of Agriculture and the MPCA to work together to collaborate on how they manage products containing PFAS in order to be consistent between agencies. This is a common sense Minnesota solution that protects Minnesota's waters, our farmland, and the lives of our fellow Minnesotans, no matter where they live, and regardless of whether they are new to Minnesota or been here for generations. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much. So, members, questions for these last two testifiers? Seeing none, thanks for being here. And thanks to everyone who took time out of their day to testify before the committee today. This is the conclusion of our public testimony. And I want to commend all of you for being thorough and for your conviction and for showing up. Now, our last real order of business today is perhaps to invite up the hardest working man in agriculture, Commissioner Peterson, if you'd like to offer your opinion on just how excellent these two bills are. Feel free.
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, members, Tom Peterson, Commissioner, Minnesota Department of Agriculture, and just really appreciate just sitting here and listening to all of that. I think we covered just about everything today, and I, just want to remind, or first, thank you for both putting together, I think, really great bills and interesting. They really cover a lot of the governor's priorities. Again, just to remind everybody how we put our bill together was gathering input from Minnesotans. And it's something we started last year when we passed our bill and worked bipartisanly to pass that bill that included drought relief and many other important items, including the creation of the down payment assistance program. And so a lot of good work. We followed that same process, worked with our division directors, and many, if not most, of the priorities that were in the governor's bill or budget are in this bill on both sides. And so we really appreciate that, whether it's talking about the grain indemnity, soil health, meat processing, emerging farmers, ag emergency. Those are all things that we're dealing with every day as we continue to try to grow agriculture and support all the farmers across Minnesota. A couple other comments I just want to thank you both for working on are just the things that make the department run better. As commissioner, really learned in the last 4 years, it's a struggle, just like any other business, to keep, attract, and retain employees, to get them the training that they need. And so the operating adjustment piece that I really want to thank you both for including in that, and might continue to still need a little work on that, but I appreciate that. Also, investment in IT is very important that both of you put in. When you as legislators have your consumers want to interact with the department, they're more and more wanting an engaged department. We're not just mailing things in anymore. And so there's a lot of exciting things happening there, so that's important. There's also things like the House is looking at our dedication of funds or different ways that we pay for our different programs. I'd also just comment on things that weren't in the governor's bill that I think deserve a lot of merit, whether it's the dairy program, cooperative development grants, the livestock wolf piece that kind of came into play after we had written our bill, and we found out we didn't get a big federal grant for that. So I think that's very important. And then other things that I think that we want to continue to work on, as we just heard about PFAS and understanding that, and the is a big issue that the department is looking at, but looking at that in a big really trying to understand the role that it plays in our agriculture. It's in a lot of different things. We talk a lot about crop production things. It's also in animal, it's in a lot of different things. Vaccinations, medicines, things like that. And so we really have a lot of different things that we want to look at with PFAS, and then understanding the timing and just the whole supply chain and how that works for our crop production products that our farmers use. And as was said before, what would farmers use then if they're not using that? Would it be worse or something else? And so I think that we're open to working through that, and again, not oppose the language on that or working on treated seeds, but just understanding the day-to-day impact on farmers and how it really truly does work on that. I also wanted to weigh in on the Board of Animal Health. That's something too, as commissioner, when we face avian influenza, when we face African swine fever, bovine tuberculosis, all these different things we want. The Board of Animal Health is a true partner to the Department of Agriculture, and so we want to have confidence in that board, in the membership, and I look forward to working with the conference committee on that to maintain the integrity of that board, as it's very important. I can tell you firsthand in the things that we've had to deal with in the last 4 years. So again, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair, I just appreciate all the work that's gone into these bills, and I'm very excited that that we can come together and put all the great minds in this room together and come out with a great bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Peterson. Questions from members? We got nothing. Well, that, for the most part, concludes our business for the day. I do want to say, going forward, as you know, the gavel or chairship of this committee travels with calendar day, and the House is elected not to have a public meeting tomorrow. I haven't decided what I'm going to do on Wednesday yet, but probably pretty good chance we'll be back on Thursday for sure. There will be public notice if I do choose to convene the meeting on Wednesday, just so you know. So until that day, if you have further testimony that you'd like to provide, if you felt like you weren't able to explain yourself in the entirety today, please do submit that testimony to our committee. And so until we see you again, this committee is now adjourned.